We're here in the Pocket Dimension with the One Shot Podcast Network, giving you Warda glimpses. Ooh. Thank you all so much for being out here today. For those of you that are new to the chat, Warda is a Fate-esque game we play every Tuesday night here on the Twitch stream. It is Downton Abbey meets Game of Thrones that had a brief fling with Agatha Christie. And we are here to play a little game tonight. We are done with our Curiosities arcs, which means that we are going into glimpses, which glimpses are going to be one-shots of new characters every single week. We're going to have some returning faces like Alva, but we're going to have new faces as well. And we're going to show up with that. So before we begin anything, let's join in and find out who these new people are. But let's start with our old people. Tell us who you are and who you're playing and what they are.
Hi there, my name is Alexis Cohen-Penna, and I will be playing Alva Goldfinch. She is a fairy hat maker and also a dealer of secrets.
Next up, Arnie.
I'm Arnie Parrott, and I am playing Jasper Scourche, Ifriti conductor, now disgraced from his fabulous job and chooses to run his own ghost hunting business.
Very nice. How old is Jasper?
450.
Yeah, and he's a full-blooded Ifriti, is that it?
Yeah, full-blooded Ifriti.
He's up there.
He's up there, yeah. He's only got like 50 years of life left.
And he's going to use every single one of them.
Yeah.
Nice.
And a returning face from, you do the Tomb of Annihilation with us, but
I have been doing the Tomb.
This is your first time in Warda.
It is, and I'm very excited. I'm Shanna Brown, and I'm playing a full-blooded Johnny named Derech Cirrendakar. I am a inquisitive warden for the Hand and Eye, and I think if you have watched other warders, you might know another inquisitive warden by the name of Embrilar Deo. He and I are buddies, you know. We went through training together, went through school together. We have a bit of a rivalry. I call him MB, much to his chagrin. So, yeah, that connection is there, in case you were wondering.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. We have a fourth player tonight who is absent, but here she comes. Who could it possibly be?
What's up, everybody? It's me, Allie.
Hey!
Hey!
I am behind the scenes at the moment so that we can get the stream rolling, and then I will, toddle around behind the table in a few minutes.
Tell us who you're playing, Allie.
Yeah, I will be playing Damery Coal. Damery Coal is she's 90 years old, which means she's like 19 or 20 in human years, in the equivalent of that. So she's about 90 years old. She is a full-blood Ifriti from a lower middle-class family who her parents run a publishing house and a press called the Forthright Press. They're fairly respectable, but they don't have a lot of money, and Damery is not well understood by them for many reasons, as we will discover.
Very nice, very nice. I mean, not very nice, but it's good.
It's not nice, no.
Yeah, let's find out what's
She's
going
got
on
problems.
Here. Before we begin, as always, I like to do thank yous. So first of all, thank you to you guys for being here tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Without you guys, it's just me rolling dice alone.
Which is pretty entertaining.
It's pretty entertaining. I'm sure people on the Twitch, I'm sure you would watch that. Probably not. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for showing up on your Tuesday night to be here for Warda. Let's thank Allie, who's going to be on the ones and twos for just the next little bit. But tell us who our deputy is tonight.
Yeah, so chat, the deputy tonight in the chat is Argyle Prime, who will be shouting out links to the Warda stuff if you want to learn more about Warda, or check us out on the podcast or on Twitter. We are also hoping to get more people into leaving reviews on iTunes, because iTunes ate a whole bunch of y'all's reviews. And the more reviews we have on iTunes, the more people will find us by accident and get sucked into the beautiful world that we've all created together. So please think about doing that. Also, we are very close to our next goal on Patreon. Once we hit $300 a month, we will begin releasing the audio from the elusive Winds of Change. And that'll go straight to the patrons first, and then later on, once we get to that point in the podcast timeline, it will be released to the podcast as well. But first, it'll go to the patrons, and it can't go to the patrons if we don't get to that next milestone. So think about joining us on the Patreon if you haven't. If you have, thank you. We've got a couple new patrons this month, and we're going to give them shouts out later on the social medias. So thank you guys for being here and being a part of this and supporting us. And shout that out on your social media. Let your tribe of peoples know that this is what you like to do on Tuesdays.
Yeah, we officially finished Winds of Change last week. So it is completely done. The story is wrapped up, and it's all recorded. So it's just waiting, guys. Just waiting for that. Hit that mark.
It's a coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Anything else? Yeah, we got to thank the One Shot Podcast Network for letting us be here in their pocket dimension using all of their wonderful equipment. Without them, we couldn't bring this to you. So we got to thank them, and we got to thank them for letting us use this beautiful Carolina gaming table.
Oh, Carolina Gaming Table.
Carolina gaming table.
Did somebody say the Carolina Gaming Table?
I think
do
it was the
believe
Carolina gaming table. Yeah.
Somebody said Carolina Gaming Table.
With this beautiful, beautiful rainbow beaver felt.
Did you know
Is
that
it
you can
100%?
get that the plush part of the table in different colors?
You can, just
Yeah.
like the rainbow beaver?
And the
There's
tables come in
5
different
colors.
sizes.
Oh, dear me.
Fascinating.
So, yeah, that's our thank yous. That's everything else. I think we're almost ready to go, but we have to do getting to know you. Getting to know you. Getting to know all about you. Thank you.
Is that the music?
I probably should have warned you guys. Sorry about that.
That's all right. I picked it up.
Okay. So getting to know you. It's where we ask you guys a question and you let the audience know a little bit about your character and how that is for you guys. My question today is, what is the moment that changed your character's life? Starting with Damery.
Oh, plot twist. Okay, the moment that Damery's life changed. She was very young. I don't know, what did we say? She was like 12, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. 10, 12 years old. Very young, especially for a full-blooded Ifriti. Her whole life ahead of her. She and her parents were on a trip vacationing in the outer 10th ward in the countryside. The southern outer 10th ward in the countryside. And she had a fall. She managed to get separated from the party. And she fell down what appeared to be like a sinkhole. And she fell very deep into the ground. And when they found her again, she had pretty well mucked up her back. There was a big gash on her back under her shoulder blade. And her hips and her knees and her ankles were incredibly battered and bruised. And her whole body was kind of just not in good shape from having fallen into the ground that way. And they had her checked out by the doctors and all that, but no one, they basically set her up to heal and figured she'd be all right, but she's never quite recovered from that. She walks with a cane. She has, her hips and her knees are constantly in pain, and her back doesn't do so well either. So she walks with a cane, even though she's quite young. And in addition to that, she has some pretty severe social anxiety. And the really big thing for Damery is that since that time that she fell down the sinkhole, she has had really terrible, terrible nightmares. Every night of her life, she dreams terrible, terrible things, and has a hard time coping with them once the dawn comes. Her parents are not wealthy people and have not been able to provide her the medical and psychological help that she needs. So she finds other ways to cope with it through music. So she creates weird avant-garde music to express herself and to try to cope with these terrible nightmares.
And on that happy note,
Happy Halloween, everybody!
Happy Halloween! Yay! Alva, tell us about a moment that changed your character's life.
This isn't much better.
Okay.
Great.
All
Here we
right.
go.
The moment that changed Alva's life was when the man who taught her hat making died. This was her mentor. This was the person who taught her the trade of millinery, which she eventually used to escape the domestic life that she hated. She didn't have to be a chambermaid anymore. She learned a trade. but he was old and he died, and she was there when he died. And watching him die sort of showed her who she really was and what she was capable of. And if you want to read more detail about this momentous occasion in Alva Goldfinch's life, it is in her origin story, which will be released at the discretion of the GMs who I have given the story to.
We are going to release that, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
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 It's good. It's a really good one.
At your leisure. Thank you. I like it.
Jasper, tell us about your moment.
Jasper was always a brilliant musician, son of an arcanist and a mechanist. Used his considerable talents to rise in the ranks of culture, and ended up conducting the National Orchestra, located, I think, in the 3rd Ward, like right off the city. Great acclaim, well respected, well loved. A bit of a chaotic force, but still a musician. What are you to expect?
Yeah.
And tragically, his parents were killed in a train accident, and shortly after that, there were reports of his unraveling mentally, that culminated in one of the greatest sort of embarrassments of 200 years ago, wherein he was conducting the National Orchestra in a piece called The Hastened Suitor, one of the most popular and most complex and difficult pieces of the time. He allegedly, whilst conducting, began seeing spirits and ghosts, which is not really a thing you're supposed to do. He began waving erratically at them and shouting at them as they flew around him, which of course completely derailed the orchestra from their performance, resulting in silence, which is not really what you want in the middle of a complicated, beautiful piece of music. He collapsed, fell off the stage, the concert was ended, and he was politely and quietly retired with a fantastic severance package and stipend. He has since then dedicated the rest of his life to ghost hunting. But the moment his life changed was that concert, to be specific.
Very, very, very interesting. I love that. Derek, tell us about your moment.
Yeah, so the thing you gotta know about Derek is their parents were they put a lot of pressure on him to really like help move up in society, you know, and really make something more of themselves than they wanted to be. So needless to say, you know, Derek was very smart. Derek knew that they were very smart. So Derek got into Woad Hall, did a great job for a while, and then like halfway through his last semester, they were just like, I'm out. I don't need this anymore. I don't need it. You know, this is boring. I'm bored. I'm going to go and have some fun. And so having some fun led into getting into some trouble. Getting into some trouble led into one specific encounter when Derek was, you know, helping some friends with a bit of a smuggling operation, and got very close to getting caught by the law. And they just had to run so far and so fast, and it was exhausting. It wasn't fun anymore. None of this was fun because no one was doing a good job. So Derek found out that his buddy Embralar was, you know, getting in with the wardens, was going to start some training, and they were like, you know what? I got some pretty good skills. I bet I could do that too. So that was the turning point, and it wasn't until they entered the academy that really started to mold Derek into the kind of person they always wanted to be, which was someone who actually helped people instead of just floated around being selfish all the time.
Cool. Very, very cool. Do you mind if I add something for your backstory?
Yeah, absolutely.
Your in to that smuggling world was a guy by the name of Kev Williford.
Kev Williford.
And you knew Kev at Woad Hall. And Kev was the guy who was basically, you want to do some extracurricular stuff? I can help you do that.
Sure.
And that was Kev.
All right.
Kagan Kev.
Kagan Kev.
Kagan.
He was also a Johnny. He was a Johnny.
Perfect.
And his family is the Williford family, and they run transportation. They don't run transportation, but they have a transportation firm.
Got it.
All right then. I think that's everybody. Good job, guys.
Yeah, wow.
Awesome.
That's it.
That's it. Shall
See y'all
we?
later.
Yeah, good game. Good game, guys.
This
is
Thank
fun.
you so much for being. No.
Did I win?
Yeah,
I need to know if I won.
Everyone wins. Yeah.
Drat.
Except for the camera. Camera doesn't win. Poor camera. But instead, let's jump into this game, guys. How about it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, cold opening, as we usually do. It is the year 4807. It has been 3 years since the ending of Curiosities, since Alva and everyone else spent their time in Sweetwater and they watched Conrad leave the city with Owen. It's
so
been
weird.
3 whole years since then. And it is second autumn. And just last span was Amantine. And Amantine is the big celebration that happens towards the end of the year. It's to commemorate and celebrate the life of Amun, who was the first Dare, and his crowning as Dare, and him bringing everyone from the world that was to this world, him basically shaping the world to the way that he wanted it to be. And it's a whole 7 days full of parties and gift givings and markets and parades and everything you can possibly think of. And we actually, I'm going to ask all you guys, what did you guys get for Amantine? Because everybody gets gifts at Amantine. Alva, what did you get for Amantine?
My boss, Roswin Videlian, she got me a pair of winter gloves, which is what she does every Amantine. They're like the exact same pair. So I've got plenty of extras. Alva's boyfriend, Felix Drame, who she is still seeing. I think he got her a new chain lock for her door because Alva and Felix realized that one of the things they both have in common is that they're extremely paranoid and about different things, and they have different solution methods. But he cares, so he got her a lock. And Huey Videlian, Roswin's son, would have gotten her something. He usually gets her a copy of a book that he really liked, so he'll save his pocket money and he'll get her a copy of the book.
Cute. That's super cute.
And because she's really appreciative, she's like, I love when you tell me about what you're reading, and this sounds like a really interesting book. I'd love to read it myself. And he pays attention because he's a smart little tree.
Cool. Jasper, what did you get for Amantine?
Jasper has 2 people in his life on a consistent basis, and one not even so much on a consistent basis. His wonderful sister, Tindri, who is an explorer and an excavator, usually sends him a gift around this time that may or may not be an Amantine gift. It might also just be
Just a gift.
just a thing that she sends. Or, but in this particular year, it was a unidentifiable egg that is hot to the touch for some reason.
Interesting.
And he has received, at 450 years old, he's received a lot of these gifts from his sister over the years, and half of them have attempted to kill him at some point in his life, or at least made things more miserable. So he has taken the egg and placed it on a pillow
Someplace.
in a room somewhere safe, and is just going to leave it there until maybe it becomes something terrifying. The only other person in his life is Damery Coal, his fresh assistant / caretaker, and or at least that's what she tells her parents. And Damery has not yet told Jasper what his gift was. So
Damery purchased a Voxbox player for Jasper.
Oh.
A
It's
really nice
newfangled.
one. Yeah, it's newfangled. It's got mother of pearl inlay and gold edges. It's she saved up for it. But she's edited it so that when it plays Vox boxes on it, it gives them a layer of theremin.
oh,
Oh, that's fun.
so it adds instrumentation
Yes.
into music.
Yes.
Excellent.
But
And
All music now has a theremin in it.
This is the Vox box you play when you want some extra theremin. When you need that extra theremin in your life.
The theremin, in this world, Damery Coal invented the theremin. And it's something that brought her and Jasper together as kindred spirits to
You know,
a degree. So
Jasper likes the theremin. He doesn't love the theremin.
So
It's
the
also-
great works of like Morjan broke.
Yeah, of course.
Let's play some of that. There's a little bit of theremin on it.
Yeah, now there's
just
a
a
theremin
little
lead.
bit. It's
Yeah.
not.
little bit.
It's not obnoxious.
What were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
I think it's super appropriate for a ghost hunting business that all the music they're ever
Yeah.
going to play in there has a little bit of theremin.
Just a little.
It's ambiance.
It's
just
just a
ambiance
little.
is what they do.
Yeah.
It adds intrigue and mystery.
Yes.
Derek, what did you get for Amantine?
Okay, so the thing you gotta know about Derek is they're
your
not very
lead-in all the
close to anybody. When things start to get a little too close, Derek just backs away because doesn't want to deal with that. So gifts are kind of superficial for Derek that they receive, even from family, because family's not very close either. So their parents got Derek some clothes, because they're constantly telling them that they're not dressing nice enough. And
Interesting enough, clothes are the traditional gift of Amantine.
I'm not surprised that is why
it's,
they
it's
did
the
that.
default gift because you're like, you're gonna go out, you're gonna go see things. The Sealy might come and see you, so wear something nice.
And that's all they care about, so
Yeah.
it all makes sense. My sister got me a nice gift. She got me some scented oils. I have actually a little scented oil diffuser that I always carry with me. For me personally, I kind of like to think of it as Derek's way of like smoking without smoking. It's like they inhale some scented oil, and then that's like the relaxation kind of sensation.
It's cool. It's
Or
cool.
the Wardian vape.
Yeah, right. Basically, vaping for Johnnies is what I was thinking.
Use a diffuser.
Yeah, right.
Tiny diffuser.
Tiny diffuser, just anyway. And then so that was a really nice gift, but you know my sister is probably the only person I actually love, so that makes sense. And then my friends got me a nice bottle of Heart Go Fonder, which I learned is like the equivalent of absinthe in this world. So they all pitched in for that. And then my coworkers got me a plate of fine cheeses.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Yes.
Damery, what did you get for Amantine?
Damery got some piano sheet music from her parents because they're pretty sure that if they just keep buying her sheet music of stuff that she hasn't played yet, that she'll go back to just playing the piano instead of like inventing the theremin and weird found object avant-garde sound stuff.
Oh, the shame they have.
And Damery received, much to her surprise, an Amantine gift from Jasper as well. He begrudgingly and silently guided her to the front door of the ghost hunting business that they have formed, where the sign reads,
Used to read Jasper's very effective ghost hunting agency, and now tacked on in the little piece of wood at the edge of the sign, it says Jasper and Damery's very effective ghost hunting agency.
and it's tacked on kind of crooked.
Kind of crooked, but it's probably the first Amantine gift Jasper has given in 200 years. So frankly, he's really stepped up his game.
Damery, in turn, nodded and did not say anything because Jasper was not speaking. And as soon as he had shown it to her, he went back inside.
Well, there it is. Back to work.
Beautiful, guys.
Great.
Happy Amantine.
Happy Amantine!
But we are going to be on the Svende of Amantine. The 7th day of Amantine, it is a 7-day holiday. And the 7th day is the only day the humans get off. All the other Fae get day 1 through 7 off. But the humans get the usual 6-day rest day, and then they have Svende off. And we, as the audience, behind the camera comes up on a landscape of orchards and pumpkin patches. It's cool. It is a dark, yet not quite stormy night. And as we go along the frost-covered fields and roads of this little place out in West Hill, which is in the outer 10th wards, in a little place called Pembroke, we come across a sign that has a little lantern on it, and it says Appleton Orchards. And we move past that to, through the darkness, through the cold, we come eventually to a storage barn that has a lot of warm light spilling out of it. And as we go inside, it's a party full of humans, and they are celebrating Amantine. And there are decorations and food and music and warmth and drink, and everything is around there. I'd like each of you to give me one detail of the party. Let's start with Damery.
There are paper garlands adorning the ceiling rafters and walls that are cut out in shapes of apples.
Very nice.
There are also paper hats on many people, and some of the livestock in the barn, the human children have also placed decorative paper hats to celebrate the holiday on them, too.
Very nice.
So
Very
they
nice.
can join in.
In the corner of one of the room, a space has been cleared for a comically large hollow pumpkin for people to go stand in. It's sort of fun. For fun.
Yeah, they have a sketch artist there who's sketching out.
Sketching them in the giant pumpkin. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Pumpkin
Wonderful.
portraits.
Derek.
And then in another corner of the room, there are 3 barrels, and there is a bobbing for apples competition going on.
Very nice, very nice. And in the center of the room, there's a bunch of humans playing I'm the Dare. And what they do is they get on top of each other's shoulders and try to push each other over. And the one who wins, who's the tallest, oh no, that's not even it. They stack each other as high as they possibly can.
10 people tall.
And whoever can stack the highest without it starting to fall over, they become I'm the Dare. It's a fun game.
It's totally
Seems
dangerous.
like it.
Fun game, slightly blasphemous.
Slightly
Depending.
blasphemous, but hey,
A lot of
humans-
people have died playing it.
A lot of people have died. You get a whole dare if you win. A whole gold dare.
Wow, that's an impressive prize.
Incentive.
It's a huge incentive. But we go around the party and people are happy and smiling and there's tons of stuff going on. And as we go through the party, it's very Fezziwig Christmas Carol party. We suddenly hear a scream. And the whole party turns to the front door, and the front door of the barn have blown open, and we see outside that it has now begun to rain outside, and we see a ghostly green figure standing in the front of this barn, and everyone turns and looks at it, and it moans and groans a little bit, and then rises up off the ground. And immediately as it does that, a wind comes through and blows out all the candles in the barn, and people begin to scream, and everything begins to rise. The giant pumpkin begins to rise, and like the bobbing apples begin to rise, and the humans fall from. They've just begun a game of I'm the Dare. There's only 3 people high, so they fall over from that. But the people fall over, but they don't fall to the ground. They lift into the air in this kind of rising into the sky. And people are screaming back and forth and running around. And the camera goes through the crowd as people are running back and forth. And we catch on this little group of humans as they run outside into the rain, sprinting across the fields and the pumpkin patches and the apple orchards to the main house on the hill. And they get up to the main house on the hill and they knock on the door. As they knock on the door, covered in rainwater and they're soaked through, the door opens. And there's a single candle and a stark-looking figure behind the candle. A fairy in gray hair, very big sideburns. His name is Margeable.
Good name.
And he looks, they're like, Master Margeable! Master Margeable! And he looks at me and goes, yes, how can I help you? They're like, Master Margeable, down to the barn. We need to speak to Master King, to Lord Appleton. We need to speak to him. And he looks and goes, Mr. Appleton is indisposed at the moment. Please come back in the morning. And they're like, you don't understand. There are ghosts, sir. Ghosts at the barn. And Margeable goes, he laughs in the only way that Margeable can. Huh. And ghosts do not exist. Good night. And as he starts to close the door, there's a, wait, Margeable. And the camera turns, and we see a Silvani who is walking up the path, and he's got a big umbrella over him. And this is Master Filigree Goldenrod, who is the other partner of the orchard. And Filigree walks up and goes, I'm sorry, what is going on here? And they're like, oh, Master Filigree, there are ghosts out of the barn. We were celebrating Almentine, and they came and ruined the party. People are probably dead, sir. And Margeable goes, I do not believe, sir. They are merely humans who are drunk. They need not do anything. And Filigree goes, let's go and find out, shall we? And we follow that group as they go down underneath Filigree's large umbrella. Filigree is a rather short Silvani. He's only about 6 feet tall. And he is based off of a peach tree. So he's got a darker wood complexion, but he has peach blossoms in his long hair that he pulls back into a braid. He's wearing a very nice suit, but a raincoat over it under this canopy of umbrella that's a canopy of orange blossoms, peach blossoms. And they walk down the hill through the rain to the barn. The barn is empty now. And they don't see anybody. They don't see what's going on. But as they walk down there, the humans are saying, don't you see him, Mr. Filigree, there in the corner? I can't look at him directly, but every time I look away, there's something there. I swear, Master Filigree, I swear there is. And Master Filigree looks around and he goes, so you say that there are ghosts here? It's like, I swear there was, sir. I don't know where they are now, but I swear there was. And he goes, yes. All right. I think everyone should go home for the night. Happy Almentine to everyone. Happy Almentine. They're like, Happy Almentine, as they all move away. And Filigree goes back up to the house. And the scene cuts to the next day. And there is Master Kingsword Appleton, who is a apple tree of a Silvani. He's about 6'5", 6'6". And he's sitting with Filigree in the parlor. And he goes, are you telling me that they thought there were ghosts? You go, that's what they said, Kingsword. They said that there were ghosts. You know ghosts aren't real, right? Well, I know that, and you know that, but they obviously don't know that. And from what I've heard of them today, they are not going back to work until the ghosts are taken care of. And Appleton rubs his forehead and says, what do you suggest we do, Filigree? He goes, well, I think I know someone we can call. And we cut to the intro. That's cold open. Okay, we are back, and let's welcome Allie to the table.
Yay!
Yay!
We sounded so enthusiastic.
Yay! All right. So, as always, we begin high above the city of Almengrad. We see Almengrad as it usually looks. It is a horseshoe, a giant wall that runs all the way around it. There is a city running right down the middle of it, and around the edges of that horseshoe, there are farmlands, and at the very back of the city, there is very tall mountains at the very back. And we settle on a particular place in the 10th Ward called West Hill. And the camera dives down until we reach to a place called Pembroke, and to Appleton Orchards. And it is probably about 3 or 4 days after the events of Amantine. Let's say it's 4 to 5. And Jasper, you have gotten your first. Is it your first request?
No, I think there's actually been several requests, but they've all ended up being just like nonsense.
Yeah.
Just like not actual ghosts. But this is far and away one of certainly the highest profile requests to come from Appleton Orchards. Even though not especially fancy, it's not just some guy going, "My attic's so weird."
Perfect. So you guys have taken the trip down here to Pembroke.
By train? Is that how we...
By train. You were taken by train. Part of the way, because I imagine... Well, yeah, there's a train station not far from here. But how do you move all your equipment?
We have... I have crafted a wagon of sorts that just carries... It's sort of think like a red flyer type wagon, except, so the wagon pre-existed and Jasper has just sort of nailed boards onto the side until it's sort of wide enough to hold all the stuff.
Cool.
And he will likely continue to do so until it simply cannot be held. And so it's literally just a wagon, and it needs to be moved around sort of physically. But it's not, the apparatus inside are not especially heavy. They're just, some of them are bulky.
Cool. How does it move? Do you like draw it, or is it like on legs that move, or like?
I think it's on legs. I think it's on legs that move. But Jasper has heard about wheels as of late, and Jasper is very curious about the concept of wheels. So he's hoping can be a dual mission to speak to some humans about some wheels.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
So you guys have arrived morning here in Pembroke. Appleton Acres is not too far from here. But also arriving is Derech and Alva.
I might already be there.
You're already there, but you are at the ticket place, and they're like, "I'm sorry, ma'am, there's no more trains into the city for the next couple of days."
Couple of days?
I'm sorry, ma'am. A couple of days.
I need to get back to the second ward as soon as possible. I have live cargo. And she holds up a covered box, like it's about the size of a shoebox, but it's covered with a cloth, and there's like noises coming from inside it.
The man who is it's a ferry. He leans back and he goes, I'm sorry, ma'am. I can't just create a train out of nowhere. The train that just came in is the last one for the next 2 days.
This is completely hopeless. I'm going to send a strongly worded letter to the Transportation Guild. This is ridiculous.
You may, ma'am. I'm terribly sorry. We can get you on the next train. I will even bump you up to the first class. Is that all right?
Yes, that is very all right. Schedule it now. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And he goes and schedules it. And all of you are standing at the train station. What do you do?
Well, I've got a job to do. So, first order of business, I'm here to investigate some smuggling that we got wind of at HQ. No one else felt like going out here, and I was like, meh, why not? So get some fresh air, get out of the city, the more crowded parts of the city, go to an apple orchard. Sounds like fun. So I would be off to speak with people.
Yeah, I'm going to say that you know your best lead is to start with the apple orchard. Okay. Start at Appleton Acres. Mm-hmm. You just need someone who's going there.
Yeah.
How far is the transport from the train station to Appleton?
It is not too far. It's probably going to be about a half hour of some sort of transport to like head out there.
Great. Yeah. So what's available at the train station to like hitch a ride to the orchard?
Oh, that's a good question. What do you guys imagine? What do you imagine is? I mean, there's obviously hay carts and stuff like that.
Huh.
Actually, let's roll a luck. Let's find out. Ooh. Tell me one good thing about this transport and one bad thing.
It is in part like a tourist conveyance because the only thing of remote interest in this area to most people is the apple orchard. Because if you're going on holiday like like you're a Sylvani from the city and you want to get out to this particular part of the 10th Ward, you want to wander the apple groves of Appleton Orchard. So it has some general amenities to it in that you know
Cool.
it's structured for tourists sometimes.
It's like a double-decker bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Double-decker
Pulled
bus.
by like a sleepy draft horse.
Okay, pulled by a sleepy draft horse. What is the bad thing about it?
It's one of 2 a day.
Excellent. So, you guys step outside, and there is the human who runs this particular one. We're going to call him Bart.
Does that mean that this double-decker bus is on wheels?
It is on wheels.
There you go.
Very exciting.
And Bart's sitting there. He's there's the draft. There's like 4 draft horses that are pulling this thing. Nobody else is at the train station. Basically, it was a lot of freight, and you guys were on the train. Nobody else has been out to to Pembroke right now.
Pardon me, my good man. Is this the conveyance to the Appleton Orchards, which are free to the public on some day through other day?
Yep.
Fascinating. I have nothing else to do with my life right now, so I am going to get on.
Yep.
Damery!
What?
Watch the cart. I wish to look at the wheels.
It's not moving at the moment.
Watch the cart. And I go over and inspect the wheels on the back
How
of
loudly did you say that?
this. Loudly.
He's incredibly loud.
I just raise my eyebrow at him and go to talk to
Damery
the
is
human.
standing with their little wagon full of stuff and her cane and kind of
What a bizarre
Waiting.
concoction.
Alva gets off the double-decker wagon and goes over to Damery, and she's like looking at her.
good morning.
Good morning. Damery, he called you.
Yes?
Damery Coal?
And she goes pale. She normally has very dark skin and black hair with like a bluish flame tint to it. She goes very pale and her hands grip the top of the cane very tightly. And she slowly turns the rest of her body towards where Jasper is.
Damery!
Jasper!
Damery!
Jasper!
Do you see? They've spoked it for additional strength.
Jasper!
Yes, Damery.
Jasper?
Yes.
Are we to board this conveyance?
Well, yes, we have to get to Appleton Orchards.
Will you help me with the luggage?
Well, you're perfectly capable of carrying the luggage
Jasper?
yourself. Yes.
Please.
I am 450? Yes, but I'm 450.
I know how old you are. We talked about
I am
this yesterday.
450.
We talked about it yesterday. I'm very familiar with how old you are.
I'm older today.
By a whole day,
Yes.
Jasper.
Fine. And I take the cart and I attempt to I pull it up. It's got like a handle that you have to pull and attempt to sort of shimmy it up out of the bus. Which is is this an empty
like-
bus or is it?
It's empty. It's an empty bus.
It's an empty bus.
Noticing what's going on, can I go to assist?
Of course. You go and you assist them.
So-
Careful!
Our little wagon is like in Spirited Away when she's got that wash tub
Yeah.
Oh,
with
yeah.
like a rudder in it.
Right.
It's that, but it's a wagon.
So Derek's had been like sitting off to the side, hands in pocket, just kind of watching this exchange happening because there's nothing else going on. And so seeing you struggle with the wagon, they just come over to help.
I am 450. I can handle this. I can take care of this.
Hey man, you know, any help you can get is less effort on your part. So
Fine,
don't look
fine.
you know.
Just be careful
Come
for
on.
the probe howler. And I'll lift it up and push it out of the bus.
No, you.
And
Derek's
so,
very disturbed by the name Probe Howler.
great. That's perfect. You know, I think it's fine. Like, you guys spend a little bit of time and eventually get everything pushed up there. The wagon has like legs on it because it
they're
like
pedaling
in
it's
the
like
air
as you
trying
take
to
it
climb up
Yeah.
as it like, eventually climbs its way up onto the
Yes.
What's this human think?
He's just sitting there looking at you guys, going, "Yep."
Damery follows awkwardly after Jasper with her cane and tries to figure out how she's going to get on the wagon because it's slightly higher up than she is normally comfortable with stepping.
Do you need a boost? Because you are Damery Coal, aren't you? That's a crazy old man. You're taking care of him and you walk with a cane. I know you.
How do you know me?
I've done my research. I have your Vox box.
That's
Well,
not...
it's not your Vox box. It belonged to a stage manager at the Leather Shoe who recorded one of your performances. Amazing work, by the way. And he came to me hoping that I wouldn't share something of a sensitive nature that he knew I knew about him. And he attempted to bribe me with the Vox box, and it actually worked for once because my dare, have you heard your own work? It's gorgeous. It's also terrifying and unsettling and slightly nauseating, but it's amazing. You're a wonderkind.
Perhaps we can have this conversation on the bus.
I
Some of us have
completely
work
agree,
to
and
do
I'd
in
like try and help
Appleton.
you out.
Yeah.
Did we hear all that, or was that you two alone?
That's a good question.
No, I was being normal.
I think we're all like waiting to get on the bus.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
I assumed we were.
Yeah, you're on the bus.
I'm on the
two
bus.
are on
You
the
two are on the
Oh, we're
bus,
already
but
on the bus.
you guys
But
were
at the
mostly.
door of this
I
thing.
imagine in the HBO series of this, the camera was you guys were halfway up on to the steps of the bus, and they're in the back putting stuff away, so they obviously heard you.
Okay, great. Gotcha.
To which Bart turns around. He's there in the front. There's a as he looks back and goes, "Y'all ready?"
Do you make the wheels?
No. No, no, sir.
I want to
don't.
lighten the gravity a little, not a lot,
Okay, roll me
so
an
that
Arcana
she can
check.
get up easier. Okay, that's a 2.
2. What you're trying to lighten.
Like, create sort of a tunnel up the stairs.
Like a lighter gravity path.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you can do a couple of steps. You're able to.
The big difficult step up onto the actual trolley conveyance is much easier. And
So, yeah,
with you helping her
Yeah.
up, she lets you do it even though she can't quite talk to you yet. She lets you do it, and then once she gets up onto the regular level with the seats, she pulls Jasper into a seat and makes him sit down.
There's a ding 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 as Bart looks back and goes, "Y'all ready?"
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Let's go.
May I remind you, there is no magic on the bus. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, that was a little too late on my part, but
And
never mind.
you go at a blinding 5 miles an hour as the whole thing pulls forward, and you guys start heading down the road.
Can I just take? So I'm curious. The appearance of magic in
Yes.
this world. So would we have noticed?
You would have.
Everyone would have noticed this?
Yes, because the appearance of magic represents itself in sacred geometry. So
Wonderful.
to make a spell, you have to create the geometry of the spell. And so she basically geometried it and sent
sent
it
it up the
underneath her. And so the guy turns around and goes, "There is no magic on the bus."
Noted. My apologies.
It's fine. Not like I can stop you. And you guys start rolling down the road. This is a great opportunity for you guys to describe what your characters look like, and have a brief conversation amongst yourselves to determine what's up and what's up. So let's start with Derek. Describe your character, Derek, to us.
Great. So should we also mention where in proximity to each other we ended up sitting?
Please do.
Okay, great. So my full name is Derech Cirrendakar. As I mentioned before, I'm a full-blooded Johnny. So Derek is very tall for a Johnny. Derek's like 6'2", but very thin and wispy, like, kind of like those cirrus clouds that you see in the sky. Like that's kind of like the build that they've got. Derek presents on the masculine side of things, but is a little more genderqueer, so they go by they, them, or a he, him is fine too, but generally it's they, them. And so they've got kind of a long mohawk going back, which is pretty edgy, I would say, in terms of style, especially because they never wear a hat. They're, I heard that, but I didn't care.
No, Alva does not approve. Alva is already frowning disapprovingly at this.
Yeah. So in terms of coloring and stuff, Derek's Skin is a light blue-gray, kind of like storm cloud color, but a little bit bluer, with an indigo marbling to like the undertone of the skin. So there's like this like dark bluish purple kind of marbling effect. And their eyes are pale yellow, kind of like the rays of sunlight at dawn. And since Janni can change their hair color, usually Derech's hair is either like a lavender or a coral. Those are kind of their favorite two color palettes to play with, but occasionally you'll see it's silver or orange depending on how they're feeling.
Cool.
And what they're wearing.
Very, very cool.
Yeah. Oh, and on the bus.
Yeah, where on the bus are you?
So Derech would have taken a seat behind where everyone is sitting
Cool.
so that they can observe what's going on.
Cool. So you're back closer to the back of the bus. At this.
Yeah, but I'm only like a few seats behind wherever everyone else ended up.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Jasper.
Jasper is old, very old for an Ifriti that means sort of once vibrant skin colors are now sort of dulling and becoming darker, more black, more like igneous rock, as 'twere. He is probably, I don't know, what's average Ifrit height? I would put him.
Whatever you want it to be.
Sure,
Like,
I'm gonna
yeah.
say like 5'10", but hunched.
Yeah.
So like he's showing signs of age physically. Horns that go right out of here, straight back, and then down, and around the shoulder blade area. Skinny, very very just like an awkward collection of limbs, skinny, with sort of tufty white Bernie Sanders hair, just like bald, but sort of floofy, with two very distinct behind the ear tufts that go out and sort of bounce as he turns his head. They're like flailing around like a Teletubby might
Oh
have.
man.
What are his horns like?
In what sense?
In the sense that all Ifriti have black, like bone horns.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them could be like ram horns. Some of them are like antelope horns.
Yeah, I said they go straight back and then down, but they're I would say they're like pretty thin actually. They're not like thick horns. They're like this but pretty wide. So they go like here.
Oh, cool.
They're like
cool.
they're like a strip, like an eye-shaped thing
Yeah.
that gets thinner, and the edges of the very bottom of them do curl back and up a little bit, so that the bottom, as pointed out, he would have little difficulty lifting head all the way straight up in the air, but probably can.
Is
do.
that why he's kind of hunched?
Yeah,
probably?
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Cool.
That's super cool.
It all adds to it.
Very nice. Damery.
Damery is about 5'6", 5'7". She has warm, dark brown skin and golden eyes, like many Ifriti do. Her hair is black and thick and braided in a low bun, and has like a blue sheen to it, like a flame blue sheen, but it's very dark black hair. She is fairly slender, but she's got like slightly larger curves than perhaps a Janni would have, as they tend to be kind of on the slender side. She's got.
And you're 6'6"? 6 foot.
She's 5'6".
Oh, 5'6". I heard 6'6". I'm like, wow.
She's like
be
5'6",
awesome. Yeah.
5'7".
Yeah, 5'6", 5'7". Sorry.
She probably is 5'7", but she appears more like 5'6", 5'5".
she's too
because
small.
she's
We're
got
both
the
hunched.
cane.
We're
Yeah.
probably both
She's a little hunched.
hunchy.
Oh, little hunched Ifritis.
Where are you guys sitting in the bus?
I feel like
I'm sitting by you, so you tell me where I'm
close to where we entered the bus.
Like going over notes and talking about
Yes.
stuff? And,
sitting.
Are you in the window or the aisle?
I think I shoved him into the window so that I could sit on the aisle.
Gotcha.
Sure.
cool.
I think that happened.
Alva.
Alva is a 5'6" fairy, which means she looks like a person, except she's got human person. Except she's got the pointy ears. She's got like thick gold blonde hair with a little bit of a curl to it. She's got green eyes. Wears a very, very nice hat, much like this one, and probably just like a shirtwaist, a jacket, a skirt. And as I said, she's got a shoebox that's making noises and moving slightly, and she's just sort of sitting with it in her lap, and she's also got a handbag. And she's looking pretty prim and proper, so to speak, sort of very mild-mannered. And she is sitting, if it's 2 seats, aisle 2 seats, and Damery's here. She's sitting in this seat right here, so right across the aisle from her.
I will say that Damery is wearing a hat. It's a dark green felt hat with a small sprig of like plain brown owl feathers in it. It's nothing special.
Gotcha.
And Jasper's not wearing a hat.
So no hat, hat.
Yeah, and I should describe my hat that it's pink and has foliage on it.
Cool.
And the foliage is...
Is the driver wearing a hat?
Oh yeah, he's got an ivy cap on.
Oh, how nice. Yeah. Quaint. And also of note, so since stepping onto this bus, Jasper is fully aware that it is your fault that I am now sitting pushed into the corner up against a window seat, and has spent largely the majority of time sort of staring at you. With no real emotion, no nothing, just a very blank sort of, do you see what you've done? Look.
Good.
She acknowledges this and sort of smiles politely at you and then keeps looking at Damery, who I assume just keeps looking straight forward and doesn't. And finally, she sort of leans slightly into the aisle and she says, "You can't say the wrong thing, you know. Not at all. Your music has already spoken for itself."
And the cart rumbles on down the road. And eventually it comes to apple orchards. You guys head down this dirt road for a little bit. You pass by fields and small farms. There's one point where you actually go through the tiny little town of Pembroke. There's one road. There's like 5 or 6 shops on that little road as you go through it. And it turns into like cobblestones, and then you go through that, and just on the outside of that little town of Pembroke, there is apple orchards, and it is apple trees as far as the eye can see.
Neat rows.
Yeah.
Are they all pretty uniformly aged, or is it?
They're neat rows, uniformly aged, everything, and it looks like, but what you would expect, particularly it's second autumn, that there would be a lot of apple harvesting right now. There's no one in the fields at all. And Bart looks like, leans back and goes, "Am I dropping you off at the house? Or?
The house, please.
Yes, the house.
Okay.
What?
How about you? Am I dropping you off at the house, or?
Oh, is that where the Appletons live?
Yes, sir.
Then yes, take me there.
Everybody's up to the house.
Are you, you can ask me?
Oh, he like looks back and goes, I'm terribly sorry, sir. I'm terribly sorry. Taking you to the house too. So
I have no choice as to where I go.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I thought you and your daughter were.
Daughter.
Yeah.
She's not his daughter. That's fine, though. It's perfectly fine. Just everything is fine.
He wants to go to the house.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Puts his hat back on. So as you guys get up to the house, he pulls out in front, and then he gets off and comes back around. He's like, I'm very sorry, sir.
You are the person least at fault in all of this. I apologize for being rude before. I'm 450 years old.
I understand, sir. I've never been apologized to by Faye. I apologize for. Please.
This is just as uncomfortable for you as it is for me.
Let me help you with your things, sir.
Yes.
Can I help you?
You can help me with my things.
Good. And he like goes to the back and he starts unloading things, taking things outside, and basically just putting them on the lawn in front of him.
on the lawn in front of you.
Alva looks very shocked. She's never seen an elemental fae, especially like a really old one like that. Usually they're kind of crotchety, but not in the nice way. She's never seen a nice crotchety fae, and she's just very confused and like, who are you? Who are you?
I feel as if that question is going to take a brief backseat for a much more important question. Who are you? You have bothered my assistant, made her seemingly annoyed and difficult to deal with, which has made my life more complicated, and I should very much appreciate to know what you have done, what she has done, and I am 450 years old and not long for this earth, so I would appreciate it if this conversation could speed along, we could skip all of the nonsense and wind up with a maybe hi.
Certainly, sir. My name is Alva Goldfinch. I'm a hat maker from the Posh Way. I am here because I needed to pick up a purple beaver, long story, and now I am continuing to be here because the next train is not for a couple of days, and the reason I am interested in your assistant is because she is an amazing musician and her work has been recorded and I have listened to it and I have adored it for the past year and a half that I have owned this Vox box. And I checked up on her, and to the best of my knowledge, she was serving some crazy old man as an assistant or a helper, so I assumed she was just, having a side job while she continued to create, but she doesn't... Are you still making music?
I don't think there's anything that could stop me.
Wonderful, I'm glad to hear it. When's the next performance?
Never.
Never?
She's
No.
always saying that.
When's
never.
the next recording?
Never. It shouldn't have been recorded in the first place.
Yeah, he did say he recorded it without your permission.
Well, that's another reason why I won't go back then.
Well, that's disappointing.
Shall I knock on the door? Or-
Meanwhile, I've already gone up to the door.
Shall I knock on the? Everyone turns at the knock, and there's Derek at the door, and Bart goes, "It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that."
I'm sorry. Who does make the wheels? He's gonna ask me later.
Oh, that's the blacksmith, Johnson.
Thank you.
John
She makes a small note in her.
What? So in terms of currency,
Yeah.
What is like I assume that with collective age, Fae or elemental Fae are like exponentially more wealthy than the wealthiest human family can barely reach.
Yes, very much so.
Jasper's he's very curious and interested about human culture, especially because I think they're the only ones who might actually believe in ghosts, which makes him
Yeah, they
especially
definitely believe
fondly
in
attached
ghosts.
to them.
Yeah.
So he's going to attempt to give a good tip to this driver.
Okay.
He really doesn't know what that is.
Okay.
So I think he's going to give a comical amount too much.
Okay.
And apologize at the same time in sort of just a weird,
All right.
just a super uncomfortable.
So money is Lara's. There's Lara's, Og's, Mab's, Dare's, and then white steel almonds. Lara's are like ones. Og's are like 5s, Mab's are like 10s, Dare's are like 100s, and almonds are like 1,000.
Okay.
What do you want to give him?
What would you tip if I was riding to the symphony? What would I tip my
You
driver?
would probably tip your driver, your Fey driver, probably probably like a Mab or 2.
Okay, well, I will tip that.
Okay.
I will tip that, and I will. Yeah, that's
So
yeah.
Bart's sitting there, and he does do the whole, puts the hat out.
Yeah.
And
To Lara.
to Lara.
I flip in a mab.
He's like, oh my goodness, a Mab.
It's three map.
And he's like, and looks down into it and looks up at you and goes, holds it out to Damery.
She gives him a couple Lara, because that's all she's got.
Okay. And he like puts the hat back on. He's like, thank you so much, thank you.
And
thank you."
I would, and then as he's leaving, I would like to say, I like your wheels.
Thank you, sir. And he's like, okay, and he leaves,
Great.
and he gets in and then rides
Once
away.
we've figured all of this out, we can go look at the wheels.
We can do both.
We can do both, but we have to do this first.
What's this?
Margible opens the door. Can I help you?
Hi, I'm looking for the master of the estate. I have some questions. I'm with the Inquisitive Wardens.
May I see your badge?
Sure.
He hands him the badge and he looks at it and he goes, very well.
Thank you.
I will go and get the master. Are these your associates?
No.
Yes.
No.
Roll a deception. Roll a
We
fault.
all look at Alva.
Where did you take?
I took them. I'm sorry. It's not bad.
I don't. It's falsehood.
Falsehood,
right?
yeah.
That's a 5.
Wow. Okay. With that 5, basically you say yes before she can get out no, and you go yes, and he's like, very well.
Parochial irregulars. Pastoral. One of those.
Very well. And please, let me show you to the parlor. And he opens the door for all of you to come in.
With our wagon, with legs.
She actually slips her arm like into the crook of your elbow and says, "So, Warden, you're not wearing a hat. That's so familiar."
Yeah.
Jasper, it's a brief side. So after you said this is more important, Jasper agrees and says, "Well, of course this is more important. This is so much more important." And then goes to the wagon and takes out like 2 or 3 things that are all so a set of goggles that are wearable, which he has now put upon his head, and is holding like a little sphere in one hand and a lantern in the other that is unlit, and has walked forward and now Marjabel approaches Marjabel and says, "Is this where the sighting occurred?"
Marjabel looks you up and down and is like, yes, sir.
And I immediately move the spectral soul analyzers around my eyes and begin looking around to determine if supernatural creatures have interacted with any items in the area.
Excellent. I'm going to say, do you do this inside? Like, as you like.
As we're walking. If this
Into
is
the
where it
house.
happened, I need to see this right now.
She's like, yes, sir. It happened down in the barn. Down.
Oh.
But-
well, I must look foolish with these on then.
I couldn't say, sir.
So meanwhile,
Yeah.
since this is all happening like around us presuming that they're with me.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
So Alva did that, slipped her hand in, and I was kind of like, and then Derek just shrugs and goes, it's fine. And then as soon as he went off about these sightings, Derek went, what is happening?
I don't know. I'm hoping to find out. They seem reluctant to give me straight answers, but presumably they want to speak to the master of this place. Shall we find him?
Oh, that's what my idea is. It seems like Marjabel here is getting him. Is that right?
And Marjabel heads off. He leaves you in the parlor.
Great.
It's a beautiful parlor. There's lots of books, a couple of well-stuffed chairs sitting in there as well. There's an unlit hearth, and there's a young Sylvani boy sitting at a desk. And appears to be going like he's like writing something at a desk. He's about, in human equivalency, he's about 15. And Marjabel goes, Master Timry. And the boy like looks up and goes, yes, Marjabel. These gentle people are for your father. Please do entertain them while I go get Master Kingsword. And he like shuts the door and leaves.
He speaks very slowly.
Timry looks over and goes, yeah, he does. Hi, I'm Timry. And like stands up. He's like, goes like shakes everybody's hand. Timry.
Hello.
Pleasure. Can I get you anything?
May I sit?
Of course, please sit.
She sits in one of the chairs.
What's your business with my dad?
Well, Timry, I've gotten word there's some people who are trying to do some bad things in your town, and I'm here to see if I can catch them.
Not just people, spirits.
What?
Hold on a second. Oh my gosh. Timry loves ghosts. And what is the other plus from Timry?
Get your own dice.
I know, they were closest. I'm gonna put them right here. So Timry loves ghosts. He's fascinated by the supernatural.
Good.
And what is the other thing? The other advantage from him?
He's heard something about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say he's well connected with
Yeah.
the gossip in town and
Right.
the underground dealings.
Timry looks at you and goes, "Did you ghosts like supernatural things?"
Yes.
Yes.
I am the captain of the Supernatural Club here in Pemsbrook. I am fascinated by it.
Have you ever held a real probe howler?
A probe howler? I didn't even know those like. Oh man, I've heard, I've read, but
I go, Damery, fetch the probe
She
howler.
sits in the chair and shakes her head, and then she gets up and she goes over to the
She's
cart.
getting it.
is it a Mach 1 or a Mach 2?
What's the most expensive?
The Mach 5?
That's the one.
Oh my goodness!
She comes back with something that looks like a bullhorn, like
Yeah,
for a sporting
absolutely,
event. With like a
Are those
gilded
spectral
golden
soul
edge.
analyzers?
Who? You are the best.
Wait. Were you aware that there was a sighting on your estate?
No,
You weren't aware?
no.
A pixie was sent to us early this morning that something happened the other night.
A sighting of what?
Ghosts. Spirits.
There's no such thing as ghosts.
Well, then why would they send a pixie? at
Yeah,
1 in the morning?
yeah. Why would they send a pixie? Yeah. I didn't even know.
You didn't
I didn't
know?
know. No, my dad doesn't tell me anything.
Well, he's the one who sent for us, isn't he?
Wait.
I didn't
She
read it.
searches for the letter.
Okay,
The
let's
note.
say for the sake of inane argument that there was a ghost sighting on this property.
There was.
There was.
I mean, I assume there was.
Who saw it?
I
The human workers.
Ah, well, that would explain the dearth of them in the orchard. Humans actually believe in ghosts because, I mean, well, if you're human, how else are you going to entertain yourself?
Well, we're very aware of that.
They're
But that doesn't
probably
mean that they
drunk.
didn't see it.
They're probably drunk.
You can be drunk and see ghosts.
It's very possible.
There's no such thing as ghosts.
Look, I've been a
Sure.
lot of places. I've never seen any ghosts, so.
well, that's what
Well-
my workers said. And the door opens and in comes Kingward.
Yes.
Nice
mhm.
entrance.
Kingward Appleton. And he goes, well, that is. I was like, Timry? And Timry's like sitting there, like holding the
The probe howler.
the probe
Damery
howler. He's
reaches
like,
out and
yes, Dad. He's like, well, what are you doing, Timry? They were going to show me their probe howler. It's a Mach 5.
Can I? So how does he?
it's perfectly safe to use in the house.
What is his? When he sees his son holding, does he appear? Is it what's his reaction?
His
to
reaction.
this?
Do you have an insight?
Yeah.
Roll me an insight.
May I roll as well?
Please.
Thank you.
I got. So I'm at.
Here's what you
Zero.
can do. Here's what you can do.
Okay.
If you want to, you can hand me one of those to re-roll.
I'm gonna re-roll
Excellent.
because that was for those of you watching at
That is the
home.
worst roll you
4
could possibly have.
minuses.
I got a 4.
A 4. Excellent.
I also got a 4 for
What are we
insight.
rolling?
I got a
Insight.
6.
A 6. So both of you are able to see that. You see that Kingsword is impassive when it comes to looking at his son holding this, but you catch that there is a slight imperceptible sigh that his dad's like. He's like, "It's a Mach 5, Dad."
Yeah.
But to you guys, it's mainly stern father with his son, and he's like, "Timry, please hand back the thing." And Timmy hands it back and he goes, "Were you not working on your lessons?" "Yeah, Dad, I was working on my lessons." Go to your little brother, go work on your lessons." "Yes, Dad." He goes, he closes his book. He's like, "It was nice to meet all of you." And he walks by and he goes, "They're absolutely real."
I feel like Jasper and Damery both go,
And then
Jasper just loudly says, "I know."
and Kingsword looks and goes, "Timry," and he's like, and he leaves. And Kingsword closed the door and he goes, "So, I know who you are, Mr. It's Scourche, right? Scourche?
Scourche, yeah.
Scourche.
Jasper Tefficent Scourche.
Master Scourche.
Jasper Tefficent Scourche.
Yes, Jasper Tefficent Scourche.
Oh, that's why your face
This
looks
whole
so familiar.
situation makes so much more sense now.
There we go.
every time. It's
That's
the middle
what it
name.
was.
It's the
I told
tone.
you it's the middle name.
And they always
Please,
use the same tone.
please. I know who you are. I appreciate you coming in on short notice.
Of course.
I'm unaware of your friends, though.
We've
Oh,
only
I'm
just
not with
met.
them.
We're not with them.
Well, can I help you, sir?
Yes, I am Derech Cirrendakar. I am an agent of the Inquisitive Wardens.
Excellent. Can I see your badge?
Yes, absolutely.
What's the badge?
I feel like we both start pulling out items to like scan.
We're quietly discussing
Yeah.
which items
Which
we
items?
will.
I have actually been sent here to investigate some uncomfortable business. I see you have some other things going on here,
Yes.
so I don't mean to overwhelm you.
Of course.
There seems to be some sort of illegal operation happening in this area.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, we've gotten some reports of magical items have been smuggled through in some of your apple shipments.
I'm sorry, I did not even know that. Please, Warden, you have full run to investigate.
Absolutely.
I will be contacting my lawyer, obviously, but you please.
So you know nothing about these?
I know nothing about this. I'm as shocked as you are. May I? Do you have a warrant?
I have not applied for a warrant yet.
If you want to, you can give me one of your fate points and have a warrant.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I'll have a warrant.
Cool.
Well, that's nice.
Why, yes, actually, I do, in fact, have a warrant to search your estate and surrounding orchard and see what I can find.
Take it out, and he hands it, and he looks it over, and goes, "Very well." He goes, "Marginal, will you make a copy of this, please?" And he goes off to make a copy of it, and he goes, "Please, you have full run. The packing barn is just down that way. It's empty right now. None of my workers will work because of the business that
Yes.
I've called you here for.
The business.
Before, I'm so sorry. Who you are?
Oh, my name is Alva Goldfinch. I'm Inquisitive Cirrendakar's personal assistant for the duration of this investigation.
Oh. Roll a falsehood.
Can I roll insight against that?
Yes, please.
Okay, that is a 3.
Does
I
it
got a
beat a 3?
yes.
Yep. Okay. Then you know she is lying.
Great.
Let's see. His insight will be.
Fucker.
Whew. He goes, "Oh, very well. Please, you both have free reign.
Thank you very much.
Now, if you don't mind, business. I'll take you all down in a moment. The facts are these. On the last Sven day, during the last day of Amantine, my workers were having their annual party, and apparently they were accosted by ghosts. Apparently made things float around the room and scared people half to death. But when we went, we could find nothing, although the place was ransacked in such a way. I am at a loss. My partner, Filigree Goldenrod, he's the one who sent inquiry to you. I will be candid with you. I do not believe in ghosts. I do not believe that they are the cause of this, but Filigree has faith in you for some reason. And I tend to believe that Filigree is a man of good taste.
How many humans were in the vicinity during the sighting?
Oh, roughly 30, 40.
And how many ghosts were apparitioned there?
From what I can gather, 1, possibly 2. Although some of the humans did say that they would see things out of the corner of their eye. Could be one ghost, could be one ghost, could be 2. I'm merely telling you the facts.
Do you keep any artifacts or magical items in that barn?
Nothing old. I mean, there is certain mechanica that we use in the processes, but nothing ancient, nothing dangerous. And if such, I have permits. I have permits, obviously. I can show them to you for the mechanica that we do have. Any other question? Master Scourche, do you have anything or any questions?
Why don't you believe in ghosts?
Oh,
And I'm going to use my treble, which is "You are all deaf," which.
perfect.
Oh, you're stuck on that while I'm writing all this stuff down. You're stuck on
Yeah,
that.
I haven't listened to anything he said.
I'm sorry?
Why don't you believe in ghosts?
I I just don't believe they exist.
Is the world so small? Do you discover nothing new on a daily basis? Do you truly believe that nothing in the surrounding area is new? Are there limits to your knowledge?
Well, no, of course not.
There are no limits to your knowledge?
Well, not mine personally, but to Fey kind, I mean, we move onward, upward, obviously, but...
Upward, onward, yes. We all have ghosts. The difference is, I listen to mine, she listens to hers, and you ignore yours.
I don't have ghosts.
And you ignore yours.
Where are the kitchens?
They're right through there, ma'am.
Thank you.
And I'm just walking out.
Yeah.
I'm just leaving the house.
We are going! He's like, I'll have someone show you down.
If there's anyone around who was present during the evening, it would be helpful to speak to them.
I'll send you my foreman.
Thank you.
And
I have
as you're
left
like
and I'm
going
walking
to the
the
kitchen,
wrong
Goldfinch, could I have a word?
Certainly.
Perfect. Let's go with you two first.
Okay.
And you guys are outside, and we see in the background. So you guys, like, as he leaves, she pulls you back into the parlor, and you guys are going to talk. And we see in the window in the background, there goes Jasper, just walking down the road, and there's Damery like.
Well, Damery just stands at the window and watches him go.
And then he remembers he left the cart inside and has to turn around.
He just turns around,
just turn around
and he
walk
goes
back.
back. And that's everything that's happening
Kicking at the
while
grass.
you guys are having this conversation. So what is the conversation?
So I pull you aside. So what is your game? What's your angle? Why are you so keen to latch on and play my assistant? I've never met you before.
Beavers.
Excuse me?
She pulls the cloth off the box she's been carrying.
And in this box is a beautiful baby beaver of beautiful purple fur. Roll me a luck. Just roll me a straight luck. It's just two of them.
Oh, just two.
Roll 2.
Can I take those two?
Sure, if you want to.
Okay, they're both pluses.
Okay, then you definitely know about rainbow beavers.
Okay.
And give me something else you know about rainbow beavers that's advantageous.
I know they go for a killing on the black market.
Excellent. So you know that she's got a lot of money sitting right
Yes.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
I am a milliner from the Silk Rose Cafe and Hattery on the Posh Way. We have taken in the past few years to keeping our own stock of rainbow beavers, one of each color, that we might shave them, felt the fur, and turn them into beautiful hats. The hats tend to smell of cedar, as a matter of fact, because they are what they eat, I suppose. Hello there. Anyway, we were out of our purple. He was very old, and he took sick and died, poor dear. And I heard that at the Polypson's Rainbow Beaver Farm out here in the 10th Ward, there was a bumper crop of purple beavers born. So I came out to fetch one for myself on behalf of the proprietress of the Silk Rose, my employer, and now I have obtained it, and I tried to go home, but the train's not coming yet, and I was thinking to just, explore the orchards, enjoy myself, but now I seem to have stumbled across I suppose a mystery of sorts, one practical, one stupid. And I am invested in both of them, and on behalf of your investigation at the very least, and partially to this ghost hunt, I would like to find out exactly what's going on with the Silvani owners of this place, because that will probably provide some key insight as to why on earth anyone would pretend to be a ghost or scare a bunch of humans with... Do you think Master Scourche is aware that living people can make things float? I can make things float.
I can also make things float. It's very possible that someone is playing a prank on these poor humans.
Exactly. So I'd like to speak to the staff here to find out if there's any insight they can offer.
All right, Alva. Well, you seem like you have a good head on your shoulders.
That's,
Can I trust that you got that beaver legally?
Yes. She pulls out the receipt.
You have papers. You have papers
Yes,
for
I have beaver papers.
because they are rather expensive and they are rather valuable. There's obviously papers.
Derek takes out like one of those pens, like when you counterfeit money, like to make sure that like the receipt
Oh
is
yeah,
real.
yeah.
Like holds it up to the light.
It's a stamp that you do, so you can stamp it and it flashes over it to see if it's real or not.
Well, it checks out. Your dealer seems to be licensed and approved, so
The Polypsons are very legit.
okay, great.
Squeaky clean,
Well then,
like
they're
the beavers.
You know what? I like the head you have on your shoulders. I came out here without a partner, so seems like we're gonna be working together then.
Fantastic, and I assure you, this is not the first time I have had to deal with a hatless warden who has a stick in plate. Let's go to the kitchens.
Oh,
Were you guys still in the parlor as
Yeah,
you
we
were
were
having
in
that
the parlor.
conversation? Okay. Never mind.
So again, we saw the whole tableau behind that happened, and as you come back, Jasper, you can see the barn that they're supposed to be at.
Yeah.
Down the road and just across the way.
I'm gonna start walking. I didn't hear the part about needing to wait for a foreman, right? Or did
I
he
don't
say?
think
Did he say he
so.
was sending?
He was going to send the foreman. He was going to meet you there.
Okay, yeah. Well, then I'm gonna grumbling
dragging
to myself. I'm taking the wagon.
Yeah.
wagon.
I'm saying wheels, wheels, wheels,
She's
wheels,
walking.
wheels.
She's several yards after you, calling. We're gonna go look at the wheels after. We have to do this first.
I love you guys. So good.
I won't tell you where the wheels are unless we get this done.
We're gonna get it done. We are the best at what we do.
We are
The only
the only.
at what we do.
I know.
Therefore, the best.
Yes.
So
The best.
you
Objectively, yes.
guys head down the hill.
Actually, best.
And you come across the barn, and the barn has obviously not been touched since that night. Like you look inside, and the party favors are still up. The punch bowl that was knocked over is nothing has been moved since that night. And you guys show up, and there is a burly woman, a human female, standing by there. She's wearing sensible working clothes. She's got an ivy cap on, and she's got work gloves in her belt, and she's sitting there waiting. She's got a flask of something that she's drinking. And as she sees you, she stands up and she respectfully bows. She goes, "My name is Mary. I'm the foreman. How can I be of assistance?"
Hello, Mary. I'm Jasper. Did you see the ghost?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the ghost.
What can you tell us about what you saw?
Well, and she sits back down like a hay bale and picks up the flask and drinks from it and goes, It was not like anything I've ever seen before. It was green and glowing, and it floated up into the air and then flew around the room, and then everyone else started to fly up around the room, and it moaned, and all the lights went out, and then it disappeared, just completely was gone afterwards. A bunch of us, after we ran to the house to make sure that the master knew about it, we came back with sticks and clubs to make sure that, and it wasn't there. There's nothing there after that. And I tell you, it's taken me everything just to walk up to this today to go see it.
Well, you're very brave.
Thank you,
Mary.
thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Facing your ghosts.
Thank you.
Unlike your boss. It's not important. Sorry. Old grudge.
Oh.
Anyway, describe the figure of the ghost.
Pale, greenish light coming off of it.
The figure, the shape.
Oh,
the
What did it
size.
look like?
It was human shaped.
Human shaped.
It was. I didn't see any horns, or it didn't look Johnny or Silvani, and it might have been fairy. It might have been fairy. It was either fairy or human.
Did you
Was it-
recognize a face?
No, I couldn't really see the face on it.
The
Nobody.
expression of the face at all?
I mean,
The attitude it was giving off? The feeling of it?
it screamed. It screamed, and it seemed very hostile. Felt like it was gonna kill us. It didn't demand anything. It didn't say anything. And again, I didn't really see its face. It was kind of like a blank, like a wash. Like you couldn't really see it, although I swear it had eyes, but I just don't remember. Really.
And was it translucent, or do you feel that it was solid?
I mean, is there a difference? I mean,
Could you see through the figure?
not really. I mean,
It was just glowing.
it's just glowing.
Can I do, I don't know, an investigation or an academia
Sure,
or an
it's
insight?
investigation. It's investigation
yeah.
to like investigate the room.
Well, I was
Or-
thinking more like against Jasper's, like against the world of crazy magic and things that exist that are beyond humans' capacity, but well within the capacity of an Ifrit who's lived 450 years.
Yeah.
Is this?
Magic or something else.
Yeah. Is this a thing he would recognize?
It would be an Arcanica.
Okay. Cool. I got a 1.
A 1. So based on your knowledge of Arcanica and of this situation, there's obviously things that she has said that could be magically induced. Like they said it before, there is a way to like make things levitate, make people levitate and stuff like that. But it's the no face
That sticks out.
that sticks out. The fact that it's a human-looking thing. Humans cannot do magic.
Yeah.
And it's the bioluminescence of it, the phosphorescence of it. There are spells to do that, but what she's describing the whole room began to float. That takes a lot of magic, and so it would either have to be an incredibly powerful magical force or ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, well, I'm going to do an investigation of the room without any gadgetry.
Okay.
I would just like to walk around, investigate the room, and whatever else happens during that time. This will just be
Sure.
just my chance to look around. And I got a 1. I'm going to use one of these to add 2 to
Sure.
it, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4.
4. All right. Four's pretty good. Hold on a second. 4's are great. So you go and investigate the room. I assume, Damery, you are still speaking to
To Mary.
to Mary. Mary has begun to like describe. She's just telling you ghost stories of the area, about like different ghost stories. She's telling you a story about how ghosts have kind of always been a part of the folklore of this area. People have always said they see ghosts. There's always seen stuff out of the corner of their eyes.
I'm actually going to, before I go investigating, you guys are with us, right?
No.
No.
They're still up at the house.
They still want us to.
Okay, great. Then never mind.
Cool. So you go and you investigate around, and again, like I said, nothing has been moved, nothing has been touched. But you do see a lot of like impact where obviously something was lifted and then dropped. You're going around and investigating. The barn is pretty normal for a barn. The major things you find are a lot of human things, a lot of like, there's obviously the animals have been let out of here. And I mean, the major thing you are finding is you find that this place has a cellar. That is the one thing that you really notice out of everything that you go around looking for. Everything else seems pretty normal.
The cellar is an entrance, like how
It's like as you go
hatch?
through, yeah, you like hatch that leads down into something beneath you.
Okay. Then I'm gonna open it right up, and I'm gonna go, Damery, there's a cellar, and then just walk into the cellar.
Sweet. So you just head straight down. I imagine you like light a small fire spell to like make sure you can see. As you head down there, do you have a notice?
I do, yeah.
Roll me a notice.
I got a 3.
As you head down into the cellar, you see that there is a lot of crates down here, a lot of like farming implements. This is obviously a storage place. But as you go around, you begin to find that there seems to have been activity down here. Obviously, something has moved through here in the last day or so. But that's
Right. Okay, cool.
Damery, what are you doing? Anything?
she's taking notes on everything that Mary is telling her, and then when Jasper says there's a cellar and disappears, she puts her little notebook away in a pocket into her skirt and says, "Would you excuse me for just a moment?" And then she goes to the wagon and she pulls out the diagnostic haunt monitor.
Damn right. That's probably useful.
And she climbs into it like it's like football pads. And then she like cranks the little thing up over her eyes. And
Mary's giving you a weird, strange look.
she like adjusts a bunch of the little knobs and settings and then like settles into it. And then she like walks out into the barn, into the center, and like uses it to like look all around the room. And then heads toward the cellar to sort of follow the trail of where Jasper is going.
Cool.
So I guess under
Roll
this
me.
as well.
Do you have a Mechanica?
I do.
Roll me a Mechanica to use the equipment.
The diagnostic haunt monitor.
Yes, the diagnostic.
Diagnostic haunt monitor. Now available
Hell
on the
yes.
Warda website.
That's going to be a 4.
A 4. Excellent. Tell me what you see when you turn on this thing.
So we often find that the diagnostic haunt monitor shows us vapor trails, basically,
Of course.
of where spooks and such have been. But sometimes it doesn't work. In this case, I'm seeing like sort of the impressions of where things were raised and fallen like you did, but it's highlighted in like neon green through the lenses. And
I also mentioned there's like spinny bits too.
there's spinny bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
This thing is a
Basically,
yeah,
what
it's a
doing
marvel.
is it's like trying to nail down where, not magic, but like
ecto energy.
Ectoplasm.
energy
Ecto
has
energy.
taken place because they're pretty sure that it's not magic. If it was if we were
Well-
pretty sure it was magic, we'd be using a different device.
Right, but Jasper's idea is that, and here he goes again.
Yes.
But is that that magic is this could be a new type of magic.
Yes.
Like ghosts
Yes.
probably are magic in origin. It's just not a magic acknowledged by
That
us
we
or
don't
dealt
know
with.
about.
Yeah.
Right. So what we have is our devices that allow us to push the boundaries of what regular science would acknowledge as magic.
Fake science. no, it's still real science.
Great. So you're looking around, you're looking for particular things in general. You do find there is one patch by the front door of that is highlighted 3 times over. And as you raise the goggles to like look at it, you see that there is a slight oily sheen.
Jasper, you're still in the
I'm
thing.
in the cellar. Yeah.
She like stabs the cellar door with her cane and whacks it a couple of times. Jasper,
What do you want, ghost?
Jasper, what do you see down there? Anything?
Well, it's not. There've been people down here. Something.
She's still like flipping the lens. She's like at the front door from
you
where
all-
she's standing.
Did you get the haunt and the?
Yes, I have the diagnostic haunt monitor on.
Excellent. I'll be right up.
Yes, please come up. There's
Mary is
something you should
fascinated by what's going on. Mary is completely like,
See. And Damery goes back over to the front door, and she's standing over the patch on the ground.
great. And we're gonna jump to these guys for. So you guys are sitting out.
Yep. So first order of business for me is I want to look over all of Appleton's shipping logs.
Cool.
Basically to see who is responsible for packing, shipping, transport, the whole shebang. I want names to look into.
Excellent. So you are able to acquiesce all the records. Do you have an investigate?
I do have an investigation.
Roll me an investigate.
That would be a 2.
A 2. With a 2, you're able to go through most of the shipping records, and the shipping records are pretty standard. There's a lot, particularly right now, there's a lot of apples. There is one anomalous kind of send out where in a season where there were no apples, there was a large apple shipment. or when it should be low volume, there was a big one.
Gotcha. Are there any names attached to that shipment?
Appleton's name is on all of them.
Appleton himself?
Yep. Obviously, he like looked through it. There's signatures from what's his face? From the foreman, from Mary, and there's signatures from Appleton, and there's signatures from Goldenrod as well. But the big one, Goldenrod, is not on that one.
Gotcha.
I'm going to say that happened second summer. Happened in second summer is when this happened,
Okay.
which was like, goodness, like 12 spans ago. What are you doing, Alva?
Alva is going downstairs, and she'd like to pinpoint the person in the hustle and bustle of the downstairs staff of this house who looks or rather sounds like they're the most loud-mouthed and gossipy.
Cool. Roll me.
Good idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
Roll me a notice. Have you have a notice?
Yeah, I have notice. Okay, that's a 2, and I'd like to add another 2 to it. Fairy Hatmaker with an eye for understanding.
Very nice. So it's a 4, you said?
Yes.
So it's a 4. With that 4, you're able to find the kitchen staff is mostly human. It is run by a fairy by the name of Vera.
Vera. Always a good name.
Her name is Vera Giblin. And Vera is the head cook and head of staff. But she's not the most she's very stern. But there is like a group of 4 human men. They're like the main huntsman and these like 3 older human gentlemen that are pure gossips. That's all they do is they gossip.
Okay, I do very politely introduce myself to Vera because this is her territory. I explain that I'm the maid for the ghost hunters that have been hired to investigate the property, and I say that with like a tone of skepticism, and I just ask her, I'm parched, could I trouble you for a cup of tea?
Of course.
Thank you so
And
much.
she's like, tea! And somebody there's a human who runs, yes ma'am, to go get her tea.
Thank you so much. I take the cup of tea, I go over the gossips, reach into my pocket. This isn't quite food, but I basically take out an airplane-sized vial of vodka,
Very nice.
crack it open with my teeth, pour a little in, and say, gentlemen?
So you head outside, and there's these 3 old gentlemen like sitting around like a small brazier fire, and it's because it's cold out, and there's like a couple of young men out like chopping wood and doing stuff, and they're basically just smoking pipes and shooting the shit, and they're very much like, and that's when I told him not to come back anymore because John Corrington doesn't take any of that smish from anyone. Like,
And I'm sure he never returned.
and they like look at you and they're like, oh, madam, yes, yeah, of course.
No, please don't mind me. Just wanted to sit down outside.
Are you sure, madam? You can head inside and with your tea.
I was already inside with the tea, but I'd like to, enjoy
They like
myself
give you,
where
they give you a seat and
where the good Mistress Giblin can't see me. Pop the vodka.
and they like look at it and they look at you. And they all look at each other and they go, I've never drank with a Fae before, but
I only carry small size, but little pinch will do you.
and he takes a sip and he's like, it's very good. And they pass it around.
I want to talk to these gentlemen about 3 subjects. 1, I want to get the full story of the ghost sighting. 2, I want to find out the politics of the 2 Silvani who run this place. And 3, I want to find out using the vodka as sort of an in. I want to find out is there anything interesting that passes through here? I imagine you have a lot of hard cider here. maybe a little less vodka, not so many potatoes. But what does pass through here that wouldn't normally be through here?
Cool. I want you to roll 3 separate rolls, and they're all going to be based in some sort of persuasion, some sort of talk.
Okay. I'd like to roll insight if I can.
Yeah. Let's have you do that. So this is for the first one.
Nice.
Which question is this?
I'm gonna do them in reverse. This
Okay.
is for like basically asking like what kind of smuggling smish is going on here.
Cool.
Like what can you get going through here that's a little bit shady? Like
What is the number?
like
for it?
Shawshank Redemption. It's 5.
5. Okay.
Oh, no wait, it's 6.
6.
Because
okay.
yeah, that was
so
a
that's
3.
6 for smuggle.
Nice.
What's the next one? This is for politics, or do you want to beat it for the first one?
I'd like to put this for the ghost one, in which case it's a 1.
Okay. I mean, they tell you a great story about the ghosts.
But it
I mean,
sounds-
it's embellished. It's completely embellished. And then he flew around the room and took his head off. And then once he took his head off, he took his arm off as well, and then beat Michael to death with it.
And then Michael's over there.
Michael's like, that didn't happen. Oh, it happened, Michael. You know it happened.
Okay, and then it's a 4 for the
politics?
politics of this place.
Okay. So they tell you the ghost thing. The politics, you get, this is the basic politics of it. Appleton has owned this place forever, and his family has owned it forever, and they will own it forever. Goldenrod was brought in about 2 years ago. He was brought in because the orchard was falling on harder times than usual, and he came in with a lot of extra money to put into the business, and that's why he became a partner. And so they were on the brink of bankruptcy. And he came in and basically saved the orchard, but left it in Appleton's name. And now Appleton feels beholden to him. They're not sure what his motives are. He seems like a nice guy. One of the guys, let's call him Sean. Sean is very much of the opinion that he's here to take over. But Michael and John are like, no, that's not what he's here about. He's here to help. And he's already helped. He keeps out of it as much as possible. He has his own side businesses. He does his own thing. He's just a backer here. When it comes to smuggling, none of them say anything to you, but they get very quiet about it. When they're like, what interesting things go through here other than apples? And they go like, apples, just apples. And they get very quiet, which is unusual for them.
I ask if they can elaborate on the businesses that Mr. Goldenrod is involved in.
They also get very quiet about that too. They're like, things in the town.
Things in the town. Well, I certainly hope they're not things that are going to make your livelihood suffer in any way. You don't deserve that.
No. They're like, no. He's a fae. He could do whatever he wants. I'm sure that brothel is sanctioned in some way, and I'm sure it is. It has to be.
Oh, clearly. But
I'm sure that he has his own train, and
so it's his fault that. I'm not going home early. Fine. This is a good plan.
He's like, well, of course. I mean, he does his own shipments out of here on during the next 2 days.
Does he now?
Yes.
Fascinating. That is interesting. But yes, as I said, I certainly hope all is well for you and yours. You seem like honest, loquacious men. Thank you for the time and the company.
Of course. Is there anything else you want to do, Shauna, after looking through the ledgers?
Yeah, I would want to see if I could talk to Filigree Goldenrod.
Cool. So you go to Margeable. It's a great name. I keep forgetting it, though. Margeable? Margeable. Yes. How can I help you?
Yeah, Margeable. I was wondering if I could speak to Master Goldenrod. Is he home?
Master Goldenrod does not live in the house, madam. He lives in town, but he should be here soon for a meeting with Master Kingswood.
I see. So he's not here every day.
No, madam. He has his own businesses. Other than the apple orchard.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's very helpful. Thank you very much.
Of course, madam. Whatever I can do to be of assistance. Jump back to you guys. So you guys have you come out of the cellar?
Yes. I have emerged from the cellar.
So you emerge from the cellar and you see Damery looking very intently at the front part of the, and you see Mary over there is like, what do you see? What do you see?
Jasper,
Yes, Damery.
there's residue.
Residue.
They both get really big smiles on their faces.
I'm going to produce from my coat here a complete like chemist
Yes.
swatching.
Beautiful. Like you
And-
roll it
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
It's like one of those like that rolls
and
out.
just like and begin to like scraping things and investigating and doing all the various chemical like an attempt to catalog and preserve samples of this for later investigation. This case
Excellent.
must be handled at home.
I
Excellent.
would like to roll an Arcanica.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also gonna.
Yeah. Both. It's going to be an Arcanica thing as well.
Yeah.
So both of you
Cooler
roll an
knowledge.
Arcanica. I'm going to say yours is a physical Arcanica. Yours is the knowledge Arcanica.
Right. So mine is a +3.
+3.
Mine's just a 0.
Do you want to roll? Do you want to do another roll, or do you want to just keep it at a 0?
Yeah, I'll give you one of these.
Okay.
Can't take them with you. Even worse. Oh no, it's the same. It's a 0.
A 0. Okay.
Great.
With that 0, you're able to. It's hard because you're trying to get the residue from it, but it's just a slight oily sheen to it.
Yeah.
You're basically getting a lot of material, and you're not sure if you can get all of. You can't. You're having a hard time isolating it. You're getting material with it on it, like gravel and little rocks and stuff with it on it, but you're not being able to isolate it completely. It's obviously you have contaminated samples of it, but you have samples of it.
Sure.
It's the best you could do.
Better than usual.
Yes.
Yes.
Much better than usual.
Damery, what are you looking at over this?
I'm looking at the actual residue. I don't think it's common for us to actually find residue of
No.
something.
Yeah.
Like we've seen proof that, for example, the thing in so-and-so's attic was just a bunch of pixies who had created a nest up there. Or something in someone's basement was actually attached to like an underground goblin tunnel or something like that. Like arbitrary reasons for them thinking there was a ghost or something in their house. But we haven't found residue like this. So I'm trying to see if I understand or know or recognize what this residue in particular is from my various studies on and off with magic.
With magic in general,
Yeah,
and
with
you got
Arcanica
a
in
4?
general. 3.
A 3. Okay. Yeah. So during your studies, in just magic in general, you've come across a very obscure type of magic. It's very rare to even find hints of it, but it is raw magic. So in this world, what happens is magic is the lifeblood of the world, basically. And it's very raw, it's untamed. And what the city does is there's actual filtration systems that bring in raw magic, filter it into tame magic, and that's what everybody uses. This is raw magic. This is magic that has been unfiltered. And nobody really comes across this. This is usually like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. And there's very little written about it. So who knows what gives it off? But obviously something has given off a raw magic residue.
And would I know that it's not safe to like touch or taste
You would know
or
that
whatever?
it's unsafe to
Yeah.
like to touch physically with.
Okay, so I let Jasper know, this is toxic stuff. We shouldn't touch it. We shouldn't inhale it.
And you look over and he's got like gloves and goggles on and he's like working on things.
I mean, collect all the samples you want, Jasper, but don't taste it. Okay, don't do what you did last time.
We're all going to die.
Don't do this.
No, we are all going to die.
I think we should take the samples back anyway.
We
but
will?
Don't go crazy.
I'm not going to eat it.
Don't.
I'm not going to eat it.
Don't inhale it. Don't rub it into your skin.
He leans forward a little bit and just
Stop
gets
it.
a closer
Stop.
look. I'm
Stop
sorry.
it.
Sorry. Damery, this job was much more peaceful before you came along.
What are you talking about?
And yet, it does seem that I spent a lot more time sick.
It's
Back to the
a
scraping.
miracle that you survived to be 450 years old.
450.
And some days. Because you are several days older than the last time you lectured me about this.
Yes.
Anyway, it's very rare, and she kind of gives Jasper the lowdown on what she knows about raw magic. So this is, I would assume that outside of the center of the city, it might be more common, but it certainly can't be that common if it's highly toxic.
Great. As you're talking, as soon as there's a moment where you seem to have made your point,
Yes.
he's going to whirl on Mary and say, and still in still in the science apparatus, and say, "What do you use the basement for?
I'm sorry?
What do you use the basement for?"
The basement's mostly for... Hold on a second, actually.
Yeah, I'm inciting whatever she says. So
Yeah, the basement is for storage.
Yeah, I'll inside it too.
2.
Plus 5.
Ooh.
All right.
Ooh. She's lying.
You're like, she's all right. And I'm like, no, she's not.
She's lying.
I got distracted by a bumblebee.
Yeah.
A big one.
Yes.
Like a big one.
So I missed what she said completely.
sorry,
What's
what?
the big... Damery-
it's very quick. She goes, it's storage.
Storage of what?
Apples?
In the basement.
Yes.
Where they could rot.
Of course. No.
For machinery, probably.
I am going to reach.
So that the machinery is safe.
Yes, of course.
I'm going to reach into the things and take out the into my. I'm going
into
to
the
take
wagon,
out.
yeah.
I'm going to take out the Lombar hammer.
Okay.
Which is it's a cone you put on your hand.
Okay.
That has sort of a bunch of pneumatic parts and goes like this. We use it largely for. It's harmless, completely
Yeah,
harmless,
yeah.
but it aerates the ground.
Yes.
And I'm going to say, I guess we'll be doing some investigating then.
Oh,
I'm
good
going to
golly.
say to her.
Roll. Do you have? Oh man, I'm not even sure if there is an
I
intimidate.
have performance.
Ooh, use
That's
it.
my
that.
special. My special skill is performance.
Please do.
And I got a 5.
5.
Yeah.
Wow. She immediately goes. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that at all. You don't have to do that at all. I will show you the basement. I will show you the basement. I will show you what we use it for. Okay? Please?
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
And I switch this, and it sort of goes, but I keep it on.
Please. And she takes you to the basement. And she takes you into the basement. And as you guys head down into the basement, it's cold and dark down here. As you guys get down there, she's like, "Look, it's just over." Oh, she might not be able to. Okay. She's like, it's just over here. And she shows you. She heads down to a part of the basement, and she moves a box out of the way, and there is a tunnel. It's like Shawshank tunnel. But it's big enough that things can go in and out of it. And she's like, there.
What do you see
What's
in the
it
haunt
for?
monitor?
She goes,
She's...
Does she see anything in the haunt
I
monitor?
don't know. Should I roll for that?
roll for.
Yeah, I'm
As-
asking you. I am asking you what you see in the haunt monitor.
It's a +3.
+3. With the hot monitor, you saw there is some more residue.
Is it as much as at the
No,
front door?
no, not as
Okay,
much, but
right.
it
there are
is-
traces of it down here. What is this for, Mary?
You turn, Mary is not there anymore, and there's a clink as she closes the door over you guys, and there's a as she locks it.
Jasper, she
Meanwhile-
locked us in.
My tools.
as we go to you guys.
Meanwhile, so since Goldenrod isn't in town, I would want to talk to Mary next.
Okay. So I'm gonna say, is both of you heading out?
Yeah, let's say we actually converge, because if I couldn't find you in your original place, I was gonna go to the barn.
I mean,
Yeah.
in
And-
going over stuff, you realize that Mary is the head foreman of all this. So you guys, you know that she was going to be down at the barn.
Right.
So you guys head down to the barn, and Mary is leaving the barn in a hurry. And she's basically. Well,
Excuse me,
She's human, right?
yeah, she's here.
Excuse me, are you Mary? Do you know Mary, the foreman here?
Yes, madam. I'm Mary.
Hi, my name is Derek. I was just going over some of your shipping records, and I had a question for you about one of the shipments that went through.
Please, yes, of course.
Okay, great. So in the second summer, it seemed like you guys had a pretty bad apple season. Is that right?
Well, I mean, it's not usually apple season then.
Well, then why did you send out such a large shipment of apples?
I mean, we marked them as apples, but it was the rotten apples from the season before.
I'll bet it was rotten apples.
No, excuse me? No, madam.
Excuse me, and I put my hand on her sleeve and like squeeze it. And then I look into the barn. Are the crazy Ifriti in there?
Who?
Oh, that was the wrong thing to say.
What was?
Because, see, I know that your boss sent you with them in here. I'll ask again. Where are the crazy Ifriti?
I came here, ma'am. No one showed up. And you guys, and the camera pans over to all the stuff that's
The
sitting.
wagon of stuff.
The wagon.
Yeah, that's
going
true. I might be
ding,
gonna roll.
ding, ding.
I was like about to roll insight, and I'm like, yeah, I guess.
I place the beaver box gently beside me, darn it,
Yay.
and
Beaver
extract a
box.
hat pin.
Oh no!
Beaverbacks.
So she extracts this hat pin, and it becomes a knife.
Oh no.
And she goes,
I'm going to ask you a third time. Third time's the charm. Where's the crazy Ifriti?
Oh, Alva.
we're gonna jump to you guys real quick. You guys are down in the
She
basement.
locked us in.
She didn't lock us in. She trapped us in.
Jasper, this is a remarkable milestone. This has never happened before.
It's a lousy trap that has a tunnel in it, though. I tell you what. This is not how I
She
would
didn't
build
think
a
it
trap.
through.
No.
She didn't think it through at
She
all.
didn't think this
She didn't think it through at all.
We will have a talking to with her
I
after this to
need-
explain the logistics of trapping people down here.
We will have
Also,
to teach
we're
her
nigh
better.
on immortal.
Well, honestly, we could burn the barn down if we feel like it.
But we're not going to. No.
We're not going to.
I
Can
need to know how the wheels.
Beautiful conversation I've ever listened to.
Now,
Can I please, Jasper? I would like you to inspect the. She's taking off the
Jasper is-
diagnostic haunt monitor. Please inspect.
You
the
turn
tunnel.
around, and Jasper is.
I am marching down the tunnel.
Jasper, take this with you. Jasper, take the haunt monitor with you, Jasper.
It's much more peaceful before you were here as
Yes,
well.
I'm sure it was. And she like fixes the little things.
Yeah.
Can I? What else is in the basement?
There are.
Like crates and stuff.
There's a lot of crates.
What else?
There are some farming tools, but
Mm-hmm.
it's again, this is mostly storage. It's just mostly crates.
Yeah, but there's like objects. There's like pieces of equipment and stuff.
Yes.
Great. I need to roll a craft to construct an instrument.
What are you creating?
An
Another
instrument.
theremin.
What?
I need it to be
Like a musical
a
instrument?
loud. It doesn't. Yeah, like I can't describe the instrument to you because I don't know what it's gonna look like until I've built
Okay,
it.
roll it then.
Like
Instrument as in a musical instrument.
yes, something that I can make noise. It's a +5.
Oh goodness! You make a guitar out of a shovel and
Oh
some.
yes,
some
I
strings.
do. Some metal twine and a shovel and like a little like bucket that like amplifies the sound, and she's tuning it.
This is like Stomp from the
adjusting it.
1990s.
And she climbs on top of one of the crates. Jasper, are you all right?
I'm down the tunnel.
Yeah.
But will
It like echoes a little bit. Anyway,
You
I'm
hear
gonna
the
try
shuffling
something.
of
I'm going to try something. Okay. And then she begins to play this new instrument that she's created. And it's loud. It's pretty loud. It resonates the floor and the walls of the barn. and she plays this eerie, mournful kind of a melody. Like, it sounds like it should be backing something else that probably only she can hear. And it kind of rattles the hay through the slats of the barn floor. She's just making a lot of noise to get attention.
Yep.
So when I assume you're playing like a song, right?
Yeah.
So when you finish, Jasper's come back down the hallway.
Yes.
And he is standing there and affecting a look you rarely see, in that it is probably it's not haunted, but very like curious and inquisitive, but also like sad for some reason. And
He's got the little thing.
yeah, he's just and you don't know how long he's been listening, and he says, "That's good.
That was all right.
Bridge was
Weak.
weak. The rest was very good. Back down the tunnel."
Meanwhile,
Meanwhile, to you
plays it
guys,
again.
there's obviously she's like, look, I told you there. Wow. And she goes,
Show him ghosts.
Okay, this is the part where you answer all my questions and their questions for that matter, truthfully. Otherwise, I can give you a new smile.
okay.
now,
Wonderful. How long has Mr. Goldenrod been paying you extra? I'm assuming that there's some sort of smuggling going on in here, and I'm assuming that it was Goldenrod, right? That was his name?
yes.
And I'm assuming Mr. Goldenrod is involved in it to some degree. Is not an answer.
She looks over at you as the warden going, is this legal?
I'm over here sniffing my scented oil diffuser, just enjoying.
You're a
like,
human, sweetheart. Anything's legal.
She's not wrong.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Goldenrod showed up, like I said, about 2 years ago. And a little while after that, he offered some extra jobs to us, humans.
Okay.
Okay? Mostly digging, mostly excavation.
On the property.
Yes, in the tunnels beneath the town.
There are
is that where you transport your goods?
Yes, that's where we transport the goods. That's where we dig them up to.
Dig them up.
They're all from inside the wall.
Yes.
Okay.
What are you digging up?
Artifacts, goblets, jewelry, stuff like that. Apparatuses we don't know what they're about. Clothing sometimes. Stuff. Stuff from, I don't know when. Old. It's old stuff, okay? There's a lot of money in it.
I know. I'm
It's
slightly
the only
familiar.
reason the apple orchard is doing anything.
He's bringing money in.
What was that big shipment about?
It's the first big shipment. First big shipment we've had in a very long time. Usually it's small things, trinkets, like I said, but this was big. It was big.
What was it?
I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
Big shipment. Is the ghost business in any way intended to cover up? Because as far as I
Oh
can
no, the
tell,
ghosts are real. The ghosts are real.
there's no such thing as ghosts.
There are such things as ghosts. I see them.
When did the ghosts start appearing?
I mean, right after. I mean, with the excavation and stuff like that. But like, how are they related? There's always been ghost stories around here.
Look, okay, I believe you when you say this stuff isn't coming from over the wall, but I have it on good authority that over the wall, which by the way exists in case you were curious.
Everyone looks around. They're like,
Well, I didn't think there was anything out there, but apparently there is, and apparently there's also, I don't know, like raw magic is involved, or artifacts come in and they're weird, and it's a long story. It involved with a really weird ending. I'm not getting into it. Just. It is conceivably possible that whatever you've dug up has raw magic attached to it if it's that old, even if it is inside the wall.
Okay.
And that smish will do terrible smish, like tidal wave terrible smish.
Yeah, I know.
Pixie drowning tidal waves.
Okay. Pixie drowning time? What are you talking about?
It doesn't matter.
Do you want me to just show you to your friends or not?
Yes,
I would
yes,
really
go,
like if you
go.
did not have the knife at... all right, here we go. And she like leads you over, and she like unlocks it, opens it, and there is Damery like standing on like a soapbox, like playing this weird stringed instrument thing. And it's
Got
obviously...
like a sitar kind of vibe to it.
Oh, thank goodness. And she puts the hat pin away and throws it into you. Also, would have picked up the beaver.
I don't usually bother myself with humans, but I'm going to handcuff you because you're going to need to sign an affidavit with everything that you just said and blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of paperwork.
I am so
We don't
glad
have
you're
time for it
okay.
now.
Oh, we're fine. She shouldn't have locked us in here, though.
No,
it's a damn terrible trap to lock someone in a
It's a
basement
terrible
where
trap
there's
to
a
lock
tunnel.
people into a place when there's a tunnel.
There's a tunnel.
Yes,
There's a
of course
tunnel.
there's a tunnel.
I was just
They're
investigating it.
smuggling something.
All right, I'm going to go
You
investigate
were right.
the tunnel.
They are smuggling something.
Ghosts.
That's why
No,
I'm
the ghosts are
here.
separate, Jasper.
Jasper, are you further down the tunnel? Or
I think.
so I want you to roll me and investigate to see what you see down the tunnel.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
gonna
so
go
one of the other
investigate
things
the
that,
tunnel, too.
so I think Jasper has like freakishly good ears, which is just part
He
of his
can hear
character. So like he
everything.
hears pretty much everything.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of the idea. But Jasper's investigate is a 5.
5. Man, okay, so you're heading down this. As you're
I'm
heading,
sorry, a 4.
A 4. As you're heading down the hallway, down the tunnel, you eventually end up in a cavern, and the cavern is lined in what looks like columns, and there's a lot of bones, a lot of ancient-looking bones, and a lot of like sarcophagi, that sort of stuff.
And is this standard, like sarcophagi, are they known to me? Or would these be like completely foreign objects?
Roll. I mean, do you have an academia?
I do, yes.
Roll an
Yeah,
academia.
I got a 0,
Okay.
and that's where it'll stay.
A 0 is not. It's mediocre.
Yeah.
So it's mediocre to see that these are super roll from your way back. You immediately flash back to your like secondary education days.
Yeah.
You're like a teenager, and your teacher is telling you about the era known as the Gods' War, which was almost directly after Amen arrived. Amen and all the other Fae arrived from the world that was. And while they were there, the textbooks, they have no information on it other than that Amen fought the humans' gods and defeated them, and that was there. And so this tunnel, does this and then goes like pretty steep down. And at the bottom of this, you're in when the architecture and like certain things that you've seen look like it's from that era. They're like, it's like 4,000-year old. It's like entering into Tut's tomb.
It's truly, and even to
Even to you, it's
everyone,
truly
it's
ancient.
Yeah.
And so like you're looking at all this, seeing everything. And there's, like I said, but a lot of the sarcophagus have been opened and like overturned. It's been grave robbed, basically.
Yeah.
And where it looks like there used to be things placed in like, in alcoves, things looks like they had been placed. It's all been cleaned out.
Ugh, I hate robbery.
But the thing you notice the most is that there was obviously something large in the center of this chamber, and it is now gone.
We haven't followed him down the tunnel yet.
No.
This is just Jasper.
It's just
So-
And I was going to head down the tunnel, and I would actually bring Mary with me.
Okay. So
Yeah.
as you are looking around here,
And I'm going with
Yeah, we're
in
gonna
come
go
the
now.
rest of everyone else.
Great. So there was something in the center of the room.
There was something.
I can tell that there used to be at some point something here, but
Yes.
it's gone.
So the room is rather large, and at the center of the room, it looks like there used to be some sort of support column or something like that. But that column has been like chiseled away, and something was obviously here where that column used to be, and it is now gone.
Can I roll an insight on this room?
Sure. I mean, it's you just look. I mean, it'd be an investigate, really, if you
I have insight and notice.
Roll me a notice then.
Okay,
Whatever's higher.
they're the same.
It's a notice.
So that's going to be A +4.
+4 to notice. What are you trying to notice?
So the way the aspects work, remind me, because I never get to play, so I never do it. Aspects, I could like add something on using an aspect, or how does the
Aspects
work?
are only for rerolls.
Oh, okay.
If you can basically say how you're going to reroll something or add a +2, or if it's your art, you can automatically add a +1.
Oh, cool.
It's not my art, but I have an aspect that would be applicable.
Which means you can add a 2 to it if you want to. If
Oh,
you
really?
Want to use your points.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have so many. Let's do that. So I'm adding 2 because I've seen some smish.
You have seen some smish.
And I'm checking this room out and checking out the ruins and the empty space in the middle of the room to see if any of this is something that I would be able to interpret.
The room itself is not familiar to you, but the architecture, the feel of this room, very familiar to you.
Okay.
With my 3 that I rolled on investigate, would I be able to tell that there's something giant missing from the middle of the room?
Obviously.
Okay.
You get everything that they're basically seeing.
Okay.
Is there anything else in particular you want to look for?
No, I just want to ask Mary, and I want to say, so that shipment, was it whatever was here?
It's like nods her head. Yeah, that's what it was.
What did it look like?
Like a beetle, like a bug,
A beetle.
Bug?
a big bug.
How big was it?
Well, like the size like a cart, like a wagon.
What was it made of?
I don't know.
Was it a statue of a bug, or was it a bug?
I mean, it looked like a statue of a bug, but it was big and it could move.
It could move?
What, like a
Like a
bug?
Mechanica bug, but it was very large, and we got a buyer for it, so we sold it.
Do you know
Who
who's
did you
buyer?
sell
buyer?
it to?
I
doesn't know.
I don't know. How am I supposed to know that?
You signed off
Who
on the
would
shipment.
know?
I did sign up on the shipment, but I didn't sign where it was going. I
Mr.
signed off so they
Goldenrod
could-
isn't going to tell them everything.
Can I roll an insight? It has more to do with. I'm trying to figure out how to describe this. Does this area, where we are, do I feel like we're safe here?
Oh, roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that insight?
Important question.
Or what would you call that?
That'd be an insight. I feel like that'd be an
Important
insight.
question.
Yeah.
I got a 4.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I reckon if you feel that, I feel that too,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, for you, Jasper, that feeling you get when you see ghosts, when you see these apparitions
Well,
that
also
come to
for
you,
him, it's a lot of hearing.
it's a lot of hearing.
Yeah.
A lot of that is coming back to you right now.
All right, Mary, here's the issue. I understand that this hamlet, that this farm, and thus you and yours are profiting from all this smuggling, and well on you for trying to make a living. I suspect that whatever you've done down here has caused something that may be articulating itself to look like a ghost.
It's a ghost. We need to get out of here right now. And I'm going to.
Well, I thought you were running headlong into ghost
Damery,
business.
Ooh. Okay. You turn around, and that passage is no longer there.
Smish.
Crumbs.
What?
You need to tell us everything you know about
I
this
have told you
statue right
everything
now.
I know. And she looks around, and you guys hear a laugh that echoes through the cavern.
You have got to be kidding me!
And they're looking around, and Mary goes, "I told you, the ghosts are real."
Can I hear? So I hear echoing. Can I sense a direction of that laughter, or is it just a?
Yeah. Roll me a
Yeah, you,
notice.
if anything, 'cause
Yeah.
you're hearing. Yeah!
Oh my God!
It's just a 7.
Oh, it's
It's
just
only a
a 7.
seven.
Only a
He goes to his mind palace and he's like,
You were able.
All other
You were able to
stops.
pinpoint where this laugh is coming from.
Yeah.
This laugh is coming from the other side of the room. It is coming from a hallway on the other side of the room. It is coming from a hallway on the other side of the room, and it is being made by someone. Male is is what you can tell from it. Just one, not many,
Okay.
but just one.
Can Can I like sense if there's any like magical presence or anything
Sure,
like that?
you want to roll me an Arcana?
Sure. +3.
+3. There's a lot of magic in here. There's a lot of magic in here. It's one of those like you turn on your magic sense and kind of like because you always
It's like
can
kind of my job.
Yeah, you can
too.
always sense everyone can sense magic, but it's like a heightened.
Yeah.
We're gonna sense it, and you notice that there are trace elements of magic on all the bones, and it's all like trace elements of some sort of very particular magic. It's like pinpricks in your vision, and there is something large and magical on the other side of this room.
Can I like prep a force field, like a shield, like a small shield wall?
You can prepare one, yeah, and roll me an Arcanica.
That's a 2. No, a 3 actually.
Cool.
I've got Arcanica 1.
A 3 in Arcanica? Okay. So you are able to put up this shield just as from the darkness come these green glowing shapes, like they're swimming through the air.
And I'm standing partially in front of her, so the wall goes up in front of us.
And it moves through the air and reaches you. And basically whatever this is, spins off to the side. It's humanoid in shape, but obviously has no face. Kind of green and glowy, and there are 4 of them, and they like move around you guys, like flying around the room.
Can I make a wind current to kind of blow them away?
You are inside the shield.
Okay, it's not.
Okay, so it's around all of us.
You made a bubble, basically.
Oh,
fantastic.
okay. I thought it was just a shield.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too. But I like this bubble. Let's stay in
You
here.
made a bubble. So that's what's going on. What are you guys doing?
Damery,
Mary is on the ground, holding her head, going, I told you they were real, they were real, they were real, they were real.
Damery mutters to Alva as the force field goes up, "You'd best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Goldfinch. I think you're in one."
Boo.
And everyone groans.
This was not how I wanted my trip to the 10th ward to go.
I would like to roll an Arcanica
What do you want to do?
on what's that thing is, what we're seeing, basically.
Oh, you want to see what it is?
Right, because it looks like a human. It doesn't have a face. It's flying. Humans don't fly. So my thought is it's some kind of magical apparition.
Okay.
So I'd like to. No, we're gonna do that again.
no.
Can you? I can't reach with tiny arms.
Roll too far.
I rolled too far. I've rolled too far again.
And you've rolled
Is it the same?
The same roll,
It's
yes.
the same. Well, I've got all
Could
of
you
these
have
to burn.
Added any of your aspects would they have applied to that reroll?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been. I've seen some smash.
Yeah, keep going if you want
Yeah.
to continue to.
Just one more. We'll do one more. Oh, this is dreadful. It's a +2.
A +2.
Yeah.
Dreadful.
You're trying to see what they are. You can't get a bead on them, basically. They're basically flying around you. You can't
Yeah.
get, but you see that you do get a sense that they have a trail that leads back to a central point on the other side.
Yeah.
So I do see that the thing is over there.
You see that there is something over there
Something
that
is
they are
over there.
connected to.
Okay.
As like a warden for the hand and eye, would I know like any like kind of like dispelling spells?
As a magic cop, you would know how to not nullify. It's like a counter spell. Like you'd be able to negate it. So it's like 2 waves hitting each other and then splashing. There is collateral damage in it, but it is stopping it from whatever it's doing. The problem is you can't do it while you're inside this
well,
force
I'm in the
field.
bubble, right?
Right.
What are you doing, Jasper?
So I can connect. I'm assuming it's just fine for me to connect that all of these things are emanating from whatever creature I heard saying this voice.
Yes.
So I'm going to convey this information to everybody that these things are a part of a whole and part of a greater, powerful magic thing that's on the other side of the room.
And is that force still over there? Like it came from that force?
It came from whatever is on the other side
And
of that. Damery is able to figure that out.
Okay.
And I like kind of hone in on that and like gesture to the others that whatever it is over there.
I mean, I'd like to like leave here, but we can't. Do you want to go over to it? I don't suppose you have some sort of ghost strike.
Well, I'm gonna follow my trouble. That now I've caught the scent of this mystery.
Yes, do.
And I'm gonna go and try to dispel this magical force.
Okay, so Alva's gonna have to drop the force field for you to get out of it, unless you want to dispel the force field as well.
No.
I don't suppose I can inch forward with it.
No, it is in place.
No, okay.
And I can't pass through it.
Yeah, I mean, you. I'm sure you can. You
Okay.
can.
Because I would pass through it without breaking it if I could.
Okay, it's one of those. The slow blade penetrates the shield.
Right, or like Leo's tiny hut.
Yeah.
I mean, I can drop this, but before I drop this, I'd like everybody to have a plan for not dying.
Well, you don't need to drop it for me to exit.
Like what she does
I'm
is she
just
walks
gonna
up and
go.
she's trained to like walk super slow through these type of force fields. It leaves her very vulnerable to do it, but she can do it. I'm going to say that you walk through it as these things are moving back and forth, and you can drop your force field. You know what's going on. What are you going to do? Are you going to?
So I'm gonna just advance on this spectral thing and attempt to push a wave of like cancellation magic basically at it.
Cool. Awesome. Roll an Arcana.
Oof. Since I'm doing my scent catching, I'm gonna re-roll that. It's only a +1.
+1. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You send out this like this wave of magic that basically is going to hit their magic. And as you do that, there is another wave that hits as well. Like basically one of these things moves in front of you and hits that wave and it crashes and explodes basically. And no, it's fine. You're able to keep your shield up, but the collateral damage of that splash sends everything everywhere. It's like the bones clatter into the air. There's a lot of shaking damage that's going on around.
And that's presumably more collateral damage than I've seen from other like
Yes.
dispelling crashes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a pretty strong dispel.
Okay. At this point, would you say it's reasonable that I've deduced that this is someone harnessing raw magic?
Roll me an Arcana.
+2.
Someone or something is harnessing raw magic to do this. What are you doing, Jasper?
Can I use? Is there a way I can use magic to make my voice loud?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that, and I'm just gonna say, "Who are you, and what are you doing?"
Cool.
That's what I'm gonna
Cool. So he's gonna do that. I'm not even gonna have you
Yeah.
roll for that. You just do that. What are you doing, Damery?
Damery brought the shovel sitar with her as they came down the hallway.
Of course you did.
And she's preparing to play again. Like she's ready. She's got it like somebody would normally have like their strike ready to go for a combat of some kind. She's preparing the instrument she's created
As a weapon.
as though it were a weapon. Yes.
Cool. And what are you doing, Alva?
I'm just trying to keep this force field up because it seems to be the safest thing for me, Damery, the beaver, and incidentally, Mr. Scourche.
Cool.
By
Perfect.
sheer happenstance.
Sheer accident.
Yeah.
So,
You're on the
Regrettably.
list, you're just at
So,
the bottom.
Unfortunately.
Jasper, you say, what do you say again? You say,
I say, "Who are you, and what are you doing?"
and it's this booming, who are you and what are you doing? And it reverberates off the walls of this. And there is this, leave now. Be gone from this place.
You closed the door!
I say that with the booming voice. But you closed the door.
No, I didn't. The door is closed.
The tunnel's gone.
The tunnel we came in is gone.
Be gone
We're trying. We don't want. Well, I don't
Can I
personally.
see if this shape, now that I've gotten closer, has a face?
Sure.
The shape. With
What
a
would I roll?
face.
Or do you...
So yeah, that hit, it dispelled, and basically the ghostly apparitions, they go to the ceiling, and they're up at the ceiling, and they're going to come down. Roll me a notice real quick.
+2.
+2. You can see that there is a glowing something on the other end of this room, and it's moving forward.
I'm wondering if I can see, like, their face.
You cannot see
Okay.
their face. Damery, what do you want to do? You're preparing to like.
Yeah,
wow.
I'd like
theory.
to use my free skill, which is empathy through music,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd like to play a variation on the melody that I had previously created, with the intent of coaxing the person out through that empathy, that empathetic manipulation.
Roll me a Arcana.
Oh, I'm rolling empathy through music. That's what the skill
Well,
is
okay, that's what it's an Arcanica thing, but you're doing it that way.
called. Okay. No, we're gonna re-roll that.
The magic of the song.
Wow, this is not great.
Magic
It's a +1.
Okay. You play the song, and you can't seem to get it towards him or her or it enough. And you see that you all see that this thing is moving closer to you.
Can you try that again?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Okay, on
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
on my count, play as loud and as well as you can. I want to drop the field and sort of roll it out so it amplifies the sound
Cool.
to help her out.
Okay, we're gonna help her out.
I don't know
And
exactly how that
well,
helps, but
Yeah.
If I can do this, can I light the room up just using like
Yeah,
not
using-
like explosive fire, but like it's dark in here, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
assume I'd like the whole room to just be lit.
Perfect.
With
Yeah.
fire.
Roll me an Arcanica.
Yes. Here we go.
What'd you roll, Damery?
I didn't get anything from her helping.
+2.
I got it.
Okay.
I got a 4.
4. Yeah, you light this room on. Like, basically, it goes down and
mitigate
you
some of the minuses.
snap. And, like,
0.
flame rolls down this thing. There's, like, DeLorean two ways down. And this thing is in the middle of it. And it is now lit up. And it looks to be somewhat humanoid. It's got, like, 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. And it's, like, covered its face. But the moment you did that and you
It's
play,
a 0. I rolled
it's a
a
0,
0.
but it's mediocre in conjunction with his flame. I'm gonna say that you do that, and
It's like Kubo and the Two Strings.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
and with the flames, and so it's all at once. You do that, and so it's flame.
Yeah.
And sound, and roll one thing as well.
I was going to roll, as he's doing the flame then, I would try to fan the flame to encircle the figure.
Cool, perfect roll.
Yeah, that works.
That's not great. I am going to make my calm before the storm
Cool.
Yeah.
thing for that, and that's far away. Okay.
Before the storm.
Let's try that again. Much
There we
better.
go.
There we go.
Oh
It's a 6.
my!
Oh my goodness. Okay, with all of those effects reaching this creature, it is blown off its feet and it's encircled in flame. And it basically, as that happens, those apparition things, they dissipate and pop in midair. And this thing is thrown into the air and lands into the dirt. And you all come up to it.
I run up to it, yeah.
Yeah, you.
Oh yeah. Oh, the specs are on.
What is it?
As you run up to it, you see that it is what looks like Silvani of some kind. It looks like he's doused himself in some sort of paint.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I say, filigree goldenrod, you're under arrest.
And as you roll him over, you look up, and as you look up, you see his face kind of like warp for a bit, and then go back to being Filigree's face.
You had, like, Alva actually, like, is, oh no! And she jumps at him and starts banging his head against the ground.
And,
Also, we need him alive.
No, get that off your face! I am sick of people doing that to me!
I'm gonna grab him too and go, where is the real ghost?
Like, just trying to keep people off of him.
as you try to keep people off him, and so the face dispels. And you feel it dispel over his whole body. And the face that rolls up is a familiar face to you. It is Kev Williford.
And Alva screams, Kevin fucking Williford. Kevin Cagging Williford.
Gotta be cagging
and
me.
he's unconscious and like rolling his head.
Kev.
What is this?
This is the most annoying whistler
I'm
I have
handcuffing
ever.
him.
Sorry,
It's okay,
I
you're
have
good.
ever had the misfortune of encountering. He never grew up since high school.
But this isn't it.
I used to run with this fool.
You did.
I did back in the day.
What-
Oh,
but-
Kev, you're going to jail, man.
But this isn't it.
No, this is some guy.
No,
Kev.
this was all a hoax. I thought for a minute that. Kev, you are an idiot, she said.
Kev is
It
completely.
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
She's
he's out.
she's telling
She's still
him.
yelling at
Why
him.
were you you're trying to scare people away by making something interesting that people will show up to look at? This was doomed to fail.
Alva.
You are so annoying.
Alva,
What?
he wanted power, man.
There are better ways to get power than dressing up in a green. Oh God, I have such a headache now.
Mary?
Yeah.
Because Mary's still there.
Mary's there. Mary's like on the ground.
Mary, I need a pixie. I unhandcuff her. You need to give me a pixie right now.
And Mary's like, okay. And she runs, and as she runs to where the place was, you see the wall go and open up. And then she runs.
Wait a minute. Who dropped the wall and then rose it up? Wait.
It was an illusion.
It's a mystery.
Oh, it's an illusion. I thought there's some Silvani hiding somewhere doing earth tricks. No, it's an illusion. Fine. I kick Kev again.
Wham! And so she goes and gets a pixie. What time are we at? Oh yeah. We're gonna jump ahead a couple of hours.
Okay.
I
And
sent the pixie back. to
send the pixie
city.
back and
Yeah.
stuff like that. We stay in the same cavern, but now there's a lot of people down here. There's Appleton is down here now. There's a lot of the local constabulary have now come down here. There's been people sent that have teleported in from the Arcanica Guild that are like looking over artifacts and stuff like that. People from various the word has gotten out over the last couple of hours. And you all are sitting down here, and they've like put lights up, and there's excavation going on as people are looking over this great find. And the question is, what are you guys doing?
Is it safe to assume that Damery is sitting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's sitting.
Alva's sitting next to her with the beaver in its box on her lap. And she's just sort of staring in the middle distance for a long while, and then she turns to her and says, so this is what you do? This is what you spend your time doing, actively trying to put yourself in these types of situations.
As a brief, so like,
Yeah.
well, while this is happening, Jasper is wildly arguing over the side
Everyone.
with some academic.
Oh yeah,
something.
there's an agent named Edmorn Drim.
Yeah.
He is
gosh.
an Arcanica Guild expert,
Yeah.
an agent, and he's like, there's no such thing
Yeah.
as ghosts.
Just like in it and wailing.
Yeah, that's-
Damery is like watching them go back and forth across the cave.
and they like back and forth as they're yelling at each other about.
Showing him the devices.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's back and forth, so that's happening.
Yeah, sorry, what were you doing?
I am debriefing other officials that have arrived. I want to find out who bought the giant beetle. I want to know who the recipient of that was.
Roll me a investigate.
Okay. +5. No, +6.
Yeah,
Plus
there you go.
5.
+6.
Plus 6. With that 6, you're able to, like, you go over a couple more records. You do, over the last couple hours, you've been
Right.
trying to figure out this beetle thing and where it was and what it could possibly be. And you find that the manifest for that particular one, you find the recipient eventually. And it is a, hold on. It goes to a certain Connor Bell, Behl. Somewhere in the city. Like it's obviously a drop someplace, but they're
Right.
like Connor Bell is who it goes
Is
to.
the name. All right.
Do you say that out loud?
No.
I don't imagine
Okay,
she would.
yeah.
He would.
Just checking.
I mean, it's over her shoulder, and she writes Connor Behl
Right.
underline.
Okay.
So we're sitting off to the side.
You guys are sitting off to the side.
So, because admittedly, Kev Williford is a weakling, but he can run, he can get the drop on people, he can kill people. And you're not equipped to protect yourself.
She looks at you, deadpan. I don't know what you mean.
What I mean is that this is a dangerous thing you're doing, investigating cracked business, or even if what if it had been true? What if some sort of raw magic had coalesced into like the spirit of a dead dare knows what and had eaten your head?
Well, that was the reason we came down here.
And it was still something dangerous, even though it was completely mundane. Well,
Ms.
magically.
Goldfinch, do you feel what it feels like to be in this room right now?
Feels.
You take a moment, Alva, and you actually concentrate on the room itself. And it's unlike anything you've ever felt before. You haven't noticed it because you've been high on adrenaline and stuff like that. But just
Very
being in this
irritated.
room is slightly heady. You get this sense that this room is steeped in a lot of history. And you can't tell, and you think it must be people just doing stuff, but you catch movement out of the corners of your eyes and when you look over, there's nobody there, and then you see the movement again, and you look again, and there's a lot of that happening.
Do you know that feeling when you go into the Hall of Antiquities at a museum and everything around you is centuries older than even your parents? And there's just a feeling because of all of the things in that hall. This is so much worse than that.
Worse is a good word. It's fascinating. It's exciting.
Whoever Kev is, he didn't make this room feel that way. Do you understand?
You know what else makes people feel that way? Makes me feel that way? Your music.
And Damery, for the first time, cracks a tiny bit of a smile.
We go back to you guys. You're finished with eventually Ed Morton's like, I am done talking to you, sir.
My card.
He's like, I take your card and say, have mine.
Thank you.
And he put the cards away, and he walks away to like continue to
That's
work
so
on stuff.
good.
I'm storming. I'm gonna. So you're investigating.
Well, I'm done investigating now.
okay.
I found the information I wanted.
Appleton comes over to you,
Okay, great.
and he's like, Mr. Scourche, thank you so much for this. I know you think you didn't do anything, but I appreciate what you did. Thank you for fighting this.
I don't think I did nothing. I think that I didn't do exactly what I wanted to, which is frustrating. But this is an old room.
It is. full of
Ghosts.
ghosts.
Yes. I'm sorry for yelling at you earlier.
No, it's completely fine,
It's
sir.
just stupid.
I promised you payment, and I should give you payment. And he like reaches, and he pulls out his billfold, and he gives you, let's say, 6 almond.
Oh,
No,
nice.
not 6 almond. 6 dares.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
For
nice.
he's like, it's a bit more, but from what you've done, I'll be able to at least save my orchard. So I appreciate it.
Do you know how they make those wheels?
We can find out.
Yes.
So seeing you talking to Appleton, I actually want to talk to Appleton as well.
Yeah, great.
So I would jump in if this is a good
yeah,
point to
please.
do that.
Mr. Cirrendakar, how can I help you?
So, Mr. Appleton, I feel like I've tied up a lot of the loose ends here, but one thing is still bothering me. Why did you sign off on that shipment for that beetle?
I'm sorry?
Your signature. It was attached to that shipment for the beetle that was taken from this cabin.
He goes over and he picks up and you see that it's Master Master K Appleton. It's on there, and he looks and he goes, "It's not my signature."
Who else could it be then?
I mean, it looks like my father's signature, but I mean, my father's been dead a very long time.
Can I insight that?
Yeah.
I got a 5.
5? Like you. I mean, there's you.
Well, this conversation's happening.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
next to
It's
you.
just,
I wouldn't have taken it.
I'm not. I'm just trying. Is he telling the truth?
He is.
Yeah,
he
cool.
is telling the truth.
Great.
He's like, I'm sorry. I mean, my father's name was Kingward, was Kingford, not Kingward like mine, but that's his signature. I mean, you said you got this recently?
Yes, it was a shipment from second summer, just 12 cycles ago.
That's very strange. I don't understand.
When did your father die?
3 decades ago?
Problems with the dead.
Ghosts?
My card.
He like reaches over and he takes it and looks at it and goes, "Do you want to stay on for a little bit?"
I think you'll need us. Well, I should check with. And like, I take the card back and real quick, like, write, because the card just says Jasper's very effective ghost technique, and I have to write Damery on it real quick and then hand it back.
He hands it back and he goes,
Yeah. I have to check.
Of course.
I feel like the both of us might actually be observing this slightly, like if it was loud enough.
I feel like it's close enough that we both went.
Yeah.
Okay, and as we're sort of leaning in and hearing all of this, all of a sudden he turns and like swings into our personal space and says, "I don't want you to die. There's plenty of Fae in this city. Doesn't matter if they go or they deserve to go. You need to stay here and make more music. So you can play Ghost Hunter, you can do your business, but if you get so much as a scratch on you and I hear about it, I am telling your parents what you actually do."
Go
Miss
for it.
Gold-
Go for it.
Yeah. So I think if I've overheard this, and I'm gonna swing in and just say, she's not going to die. I'm going to die. If anyone's going to die, it's going to be me. She's very safe. She's well protected.
I sincerely hope you are right.
I am literally never wrong.
And I feel like we see you guys leaving the tunnels, and you're heading out. You're speaking to Mr. Appleton, the two of you. Alva, you're.
I'm asking the wardens if there's any way I can get a lift back to the city and away from this madness
and
in
you're
the foreseeable
discussing
future.
discussing that.
For that, Alva, I would, say that you did a great, you were much more helpful than I anticipated, and I appreciate that.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm glad you think so. Might I ask you a favor? Sorry,
Derech.
Warden Cirrendakar, Derech. Would you? I know you this isn't your jurisdiction, but if you could also extend your efforts to keep an eye on Damery and make sure she's safe, I would appreciate that. And then I wouldn't feel compelled to look into the fact that you were consorting with a known smuggler prior to being a warden, as you admitted to me.
Well,
Gotcha there.
I mean, I don't even want to, if that helps.
Jasper was just sitting off to the side, laughs loudly. At that. Yeah, laughs very loudly.
I don't want to. You seem like a lovely person. Kev's a terrible one.
Kev is a terrible person.
But I do want to give you that extra oomph, so you'll look out for Damery Coal, because I think she could use all the help.
And
Well-
you can continue.
I was going to ask if you wanted to tie up one final loose end and help me find Connor Bell.
Who's Connor Bell?
It's the person who bought the beetle.
And she shows you Connor Bell. And it's Behl.
She like all the blood drains from her face. I didn't check. I didn't check. I left it alone. I thought that's what he wanted. I thought it would just get bigger and bigger and eventually it'd just be full of flapping wings and pixie smish. So I thought I'll just leave it and keep the deed. And this is impossible. No, it's not. It can't be. It's
Who's Connor?
dead Silvani in the woods.
And it pans back. And so it pans back to you guys talking and everyone. And we pan back and we see Kev being like ushered into like a paddy wagon type thing. And we pull back from the barn where everyone's coming out. And we hit the manor house and we hit the top floor of the manor house like an attic. As it pans back, we see someone standing there. And it pulls through the window. And we hear a, "That'll do." And then roll credits.
Nice.
Good job, guys. Good job. Fun game.
That's
We
fun.
did it.
Yeah.
fun.
So that is episode 2 of Warda Glimpses. Thank you guys so much for being here and for
Thank you.
playing this. This was a lot of fun.
This is
Thank
super
you.
fun.
Thank you for joining our Scooby-Doo mystery type thing.
Yeah, it really was kind of a Scooby-Doo mystery.
No, for a minute I thought, wait, no. The whole ghost angle is like, it's irrational if someone was trying to keep this place hidden. So clearly this is not exactly like Scooby-Doo, but I underestimated Kev's stupidity.
Yeah. Kev's need for
Yeah, need for
whatever.
being noticed.
But thank you guys so much for playing, and we will catch you guys next week. Anything on your end, Allie? Anything you want to say?
Hang on just a sec. Argyle might have a question.
Oh, Argo's got a question.
I too have
You two have a question?
No, I'm just reading.
But yeah, guys, thank you. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun. Yeah.
This was a lovely way
Like-
to exit the live streaming experience of this year.
Argyle says, "Hey Alva, it's 3 years later. How's Tippin?"
Well, as Alva just referenced within the game setting, she assumed he was dead after a year and decided that both Tippin and Owen would have liked her to just leave the pixies alone so they could continue to multiply and live in the former Curiosity Shop. So she was keeping the deed safe and just leaving the building alone. But apparently that was not the correct move, and she is now going to investigate that. So, yeah.
We were asked if Jasper and Damery have ever proven a ghost.
I think this is the closest we've gotten. Do you think?
Yeah, the answer, no, they have not. Both of them have very strong... Jasper is convinced he saw ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
And is convinced they're real and exist and that
Yeah.
everyone else is an idiot.
Well, yeah,
Except
and
for Damery.
Damery sees stuff in her dreams every night that has convinced her that everyone else is living in blissful ignorance.
Yeah.
So this is the closest they've gotten to real proof, and it's the first time that they've linked any of that activity to raw magic. So it's still a breakthrough.
Yeah. There are no failure. Every ghost mission they've ever been on is an excuse to either
Yeah.
tell more people that ghosts are real,
Yes.
or find out more about what underlying magic
For
might
the
cause.
study of ghosts.
Yeah.
Like I'm not crazy, right? Like the only people in the whole city who would connect the two names Connor and Bell are Emberlar, Tippin, and Alva.
Yep.
And she's assuming Emberlar wouldn't do this, although she's going to ask him. So, and she's not doing it. So that leaves Tippin, which is very disturbing to Alva because that doesn't make any sense. He's a pixie. He lives for a year and then he dies.
That's what they do.
That's what they do.
Any other questions? Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
how about
Thank you
you?
guys for tuning in.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And
Yeah.
is next week on Monday or is it next week?
Next
Tuesday
week's
again?
game is Tuesday, the 17th of October, and we'll be playing a brand new Glimpse, which means it's a brand new one-shot. It'll be 3 years after this game, which means 6 years after the Events of Curiosities, featuring some brand new players as well.
Nice. Be
And
great.
if you are a fan of the Compass Cats and or Neo Scum, you might want to tune into that one. So
Yeah.
mark your calendars
If you
for
know
Tuesday,
anybody else
the
who
17th.
is interested in those shows, let them know too.
Yeah,
Spread
check
the
it
word.
out.
Spread the word.
We will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys
Bye.
for playing, and we'll see you next time.
Catch you guys later.